applause, everybody. We have been joined by Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. So, a very warm good morning to all of you. Before proceeding further, may I kindly request all the dignitaries to please take their seats on the dais. Professor Parikshit Manhas, sir, from University of Jammu. Dr. Anil Gupta, sir, again from University of Jammu. Professor Sandeep Walia, sir. Mr. S.M. Sahni.
Can we request Dean School of Business Studies to join on the stage, please? Professor Jaya Vasil, ma'am, please.
So we have also been joined online by Dr. Jitesh Kumar from Taylor's University of Malaysia and Dr. Amitabh Mishra from College of Applied Sciences, Ministry of Higher Education, Oman. ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। आप सभी से अनुरोध है अपने अपने स्थान पर पीठ सीधी करके बैठेंगे। I would request everyone to sit on their seats with their backs straight. तत्कर्मयन् बन्धाय साविद्याय विमुक्तये आयासाय परं कर्म विद्यान्या शिल्पने गुणम्। अर्थात कर्म वही है जो किसी बंधन में न बांधे, विद्या वही है जो मुक्त करे, अन्य सभी कर्म निरर्थक क्रियाएं व अन्य सभी अध्ययन मात्र कारीगरी हैं। Work is what does not lead to any bondage. Education is what liberates. All other works are meaningless duties, while all other knowledge is a mere skill. With this notion, I, Ketan Bhatt, a faculty member of Department of Tourism and Travel Management of Central University of Jammu, warmly welcomes all of you to this international conference on Rethinking Tourism to strive for sustainable and community-induced growth. Dignitaries on the dais, patron and chair of this international conference, Professor Sanjeev Jainji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Central University of Jammu. Under your visionary leadership, sir, this university is growing leap and bound. A big round of applause for Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Chief guest of the event, Ms. Anuradha Gupta in absentia, Deputy Commissioner, Samba District, Jammu and Kashmir. Due to some urgent meeting with Lieutenant Governor right now, she is unable to join us. However, she has confirmed her presence after some time. Guest of honor, Professor Parikshit Manhas, Director, School of Hospitality and Tourism Management, University of Jammu. Give him a big round, everybody. Keynote speaker, Dr. Anil Gupta, School of Hospitality and Tourism Management, University of Jammu. Another keynote speaker, Professor Sandeep Walia, Deputy Dean, School of Hotel and Tourism Management, Lovely Professional University, Jalandhar, Punjab. Special guest, Mr. S.M. Sahni, retired KS officer and former director in TAG Jammu. Louder, please. Dignitaries of the dais, special guest of the event, Dr. Baljeet Singh from IIM Jammu, Dr. Sunil Kumar, IHMS, Balbadarpur, Uttarakhand, Dr. Pansy Singh, ABM College, Calgary Campus, Canada, Professor Yashwant Singh, Honorable Registrar, Central University of Jammu, in absentia. On the dais, Professor Jaya Bhasin, the Dean School of Business Studies, Central University of Jammu. Connected online with us, keynote speaker, Dr. Claudia Siebra from University of Coimbra, Portugal. Due to a significant time lag between the two countries, she is unable to join us for this session, though she has shared a recorded lecture with us and will be joining us in the technical session. Dr. Jitesh Kumar from Taylor's University of Malaysia online with us. Give him a big hand, everyone. Dr. Amitabh Mishra from College of Applied Sciences, Ministry of Higher Education, Oman. Present in the house, Professor Devanand Pada, Senior Most Professor, Central University of Jammu, and presently Dean School of Applied Sciences. Professor Rasal Singh, Dean Student Welfare and Dean School of Languages. Professor B.S. Bahu, Dean School of Life Sciences. All the heads, senior professors, my dear colleagues, research scholars, students, and my dear friends. Thank you so much for gracing the event with your benign presence. Coming to the theme of the conference, considering the wide-ranging and devastating impacts of pandemic on the travel trade sector of global economy, the Department of Tourism and Travel Management of Central University of Jammu has invited a galaxy of experts from around the globe to enlighten us with their research-based insights in the area of tourism management. The brutal impacts of the pandemic on all aspects of travel and tourism has exacerbated the already prevailing sustainability challenges. Moreover, there is still an uncertainty about recovery of demand and returning of tourists to their normal habits outside their homes at various destinations. Thus, COVID-19 has once again raised the question of tourism sustainability before the policymakers. The pandemic has contributed to snatching the lives and livelihood of billions of people on the planet. Therefore, the lessons from pandemic have signaled both academia and industry to ponder on greater community involvement in the process of sustainable tourism development. Though large-scale vaccination across nations has led to the improvement of situation, there is still a significant need for sustainable practices to deal with the after effect of pandemic in the era called new normal. In such a situation, understanding customers' concern and providing personalized travel services is the need of the hour. Moreover, stimulating innovations and creativity in tourism services and the further promotion of maintenance of travel bubbles would be imperative to strive for sustainability. Other challenges comprise the fear of businesses to undertake successful planning and devising a sustainable strategy of operation. In this context, investment in R&D and digital infrastructure, framing regulations in line with new normal, and implementing digital solutions as online alternates to existing practices can be identified as some of the sustainable solutions that we need to work on. Dealing simultaneously with health and environment challenges and realizing a climate neutral world in the post-pandemic era are other major challenges for the potential tourism industry. In order to discuss such sustainability issues, the research-centric initiatives by academia, like the one taken by the Department of Travel and Tourism Management of our university today, can significantly help to identify the ways and means to sustainably deal with the after effects of the pandemic. We have got an overwhelming response from the large number of abstracts around nations and from abroad as well, of which top 40 are selected for the presentation in the forthcoming technical session. We assure that the insights from these papers will definitely help us to strive for sustainable and community-induced growth if practiced properly. Now I would like to call upon Ms. Simran Kaur, a student of MBA Tourism and Travel Management at our university, to throw some light on rethinking tourism. Thank you, everybody.
With age comes wisdom, with travel comes understanding. With this, a very hearty and obliged good morning to all the galaxy of intellectuals present here for the international conference organized by the Department of Tourism and Travel Management on the theme Rethinking Tourism to Strive for Sustainable and Community Induced Growth. With our folded hands, we, the Department of Tourism and Travel Management, welcomes you all on the international conference themed Rethinking Tourism to Strive for Sustainable and Community Induced Growth. Tourism can drive the global recovery, but restarting it must be done responsibly, requiring political will and investments. Tourism is rightly recognized as a core pillar of growth and opportunities. Due to the unique breadth of the sector, touching on almost every part of our societies, it has the power to drive recovery and get the international community back on track. For people, it's a leading employer and provider of opportunities, most notably for women, youth, and rural communities. For our planet, the tourism sector has safeguarded the habitat and species. Moreover, tourism has also been leading by example in facing up to its climate responsibilities. The innovation driving the sector forward can help us build a more sustainable future for all. It is imperative that both individual countries and the international communities prioritize the timely and responsible restart of tourism. Alongside this, we must look at the future. This crisis presents us an opportunity to rethink and realign the sector. For this reason, raising the levels of green tourism and investments in tourism, not just in the hotels, but particularly in infrastructure projects, with the path to achieve greater sustainability and provide opportunities outside of the sector itself. Again, much progress has been done and more needs to be done to really unlock the unique potential of tourism and kickstart the recovery and restart of international travel. Tourism has thrown a lifeline to the developing countries where it is essential provider of livelihoods and economic benefits. The return and rethinking of tourism will allow these communities to get back on track, not through aid but through sharing of economy, their culture, their heritage, and the hospitality with the world once more. So let's recover tourism and let's rethink tourism. Thank you.
Good morning to all the dignitaries, guests, and delegates. With great joy and immense exaltation, I welcome you all today here. Now, I would like to call Dr. Ranjit Kumar Raman, Assistant Professor, Department of Tourism and Travel Management, Central University of Jammu, for the first.
Very good morning to all dignitaries on the dais. I'm delighted to deliver my formal vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion of International Conference on Sustainable Tourism and Inclusive Growth. At the outset, first I would like to deliver my formal vote of thanks in this International Conference on Sustainable Tourism, striving for inclusive community growth. I would like to deliver my first welcome to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Sanjeev Jan sir, for gracing this occasion despite of his busy schedule. I do also like to welcome Mrs. Anuradha Gupta ma'am, Deputy Commissioner Samba. In absentia, I would like to welcome ma'am. I would also like to welcome the guest of the honor, Professor Parchit Minhas sir, Director, School of Hospitality Management, University of Jammu. I would also like to welcome our international guest, Koladia Sebra ma'am, Faculty of Arts and Humanities, Center for Studies of Geography and Spatial Planning, University of Cambodia, Portugal. I'd also like to welcome international guest on this auspicious occasion, Jitesh Kumar. He's a Associate Director, Infrastructure Management and Documentation. Guest. I would also like to welcome international speaker on this occasion, Dr. Amitabh Mishra, formal head and department, and he's a Department of Business Administration, College of Applied Science and Ministry of Higher Education, Oman. I would also like to welcome iconic professor of marketing research and well-known figure in the tourism research, Dr. Anil Gupta sir. Sir's presence make a lot of sense for all of us. Sir's remarkable research at the International Forum has given new insights and perspective to the new youths and new researchers. Sir, I welcome you on this auspicious international conference, and definitely the domain of the conference itself fall in the area of Sir's specialization. Apart from that, I am happy to welcome fellow colleague and just like big brother, he's a professor, none other than Professor Sandeep Balia sir, and he's a deputy dean of lovely professional university. Sir, welcome you on this international forum of conference. I would also like to welcome just like in-house faculty, Sahani sir is just a part of our department, and we had a couple of rural immersion program and heritage immersion program on the occasion of World Tourism Day, and previously we had multiple heritage walk and heritage trails to just map the resources and all. Sir has been always kind enough to support the department in terms of technical and academic support. Sir, on this forum, I welcome you on the behalf of department. I'd also like to welcome our resource person, Dr. Sunil Kumar, Director, Academic Affairs, IHMS, Uttarakhand. I would also like to welcome Professor of Marketing Management, Dr. Baljit Singh, for this international conference. I would also like to welcome resource person, Pansy. I would also like to mention here that Pansy is just pass out student of MBA Tourism and Travel Management of this department. She has passed in 2015. She had joined a PhD program under the Professor Prasid Manhasar, and after completion of her PhD, she recently joined one of the leading university in Canada, and that's a great achievement for this department. So in a short stretch of time, we have been able to produce faculty who can be the part of international academic group. I would also like to welcome Bisal Ray sir. He's a faculty member, Department of Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Creativity, Jammu Kashmir Entrepreneurship Development Institute. I would also like to welcome Inder Purit sir. He's a faculty member in Tourism Department, University of Kashmir. I'm delighted to extend my welcome to professors of this university, all the dean, School of the Studies. I would also like to extend my welcome to registrar of the university, all the professors of the university, head of the departments of the university, administrative officers of the university, support staff, students, scholars, those are participating across the country and world. And I would also like to thank I would also like to welcome media representatives. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Light is a symbol of brightness and prosperity. And as sunlight expels the darkness of sin, similarly, blessing brings in a life happiness and prosperity. So to make this day a blessed one, let's invoke Goddess Saraswati by candling the lamp of knowledge and wisdom. And for the same, I would like to invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Sanjeev Jain sir, and all the admired guests for the invitation.
प्यार उदर से मेरा पानी तार दे माँ सरस्वती शारदे माँ सरस्वती शारदे चरणों को सेवक तेरे सूर्य ब्रह्म शिव विष्णु गजानन जिन चरणों को सेवक हम शिशु है अज्ञान.
Thank you, everyone. I humbly invite now Professor Jaya Basin Ma'am, Dean School of Business Studies, on the stage to address the event on the theme Rethinking Tourism to Strive for Sustainable and Community-Induced Growth.
देखिए तालियां बहुत जोर से बजनी चाहिए. We are sitting here witnessing an international conference. Big round of applause, please, everyone.
Thank you so much, Amitji, for giving me this opportunity here to welcome the August gathering out here for this international conference. On behalf of the entire school, I take this opportunity and privilege because all would agree out here, all the students, a big round of applause is given, but not from core of the heart. I could hear for Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir out here, who has brought this kind of laurels to this university for giving us the liberty. A vigor has been introduced by me, sir, and this vigor has come down to each and every student. The light of education is going down, and your directions, your vision are being put forward by the entire school. Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of the entire school, I'm highly obliged, and from core of our heart, everyone, a big round of applause again for sir. Should be heard loudly, louder. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Sanjeev Jain sir, Shri S.M. Sani sir, from Intact, being a mentor and guide for the entire school for so many years now. Professor Parikshit Singh Manas sir, for being here always once when we have asked you for call for, you have been always guiding the entire school. It has not been today, but has been for long. I have been working you now for, I think, more than 12 years or so. Dr. Anand Gupta sir, we have worked again together for most of, I think, the time I have worked. Thank you for sparing your valuable time. Welcome from the entire school, sir. Professor Sandeep Walia ji, knowing you from the days once when we had traveled together. Dr. Baljit Singh ji from IIM. Dr. Claudia Sarbia from internationally, once when getting luminaries, we were discussing here that Amit ji has made this a truly, truly international kind of an event, wherein a big round of applause, each and everyone out here for the entire team here. Dr. Amit ji as head of the department, leading the entire department, Dr. Bharti Gupta, Dr. Raman, Dr. Rahul. We have the other faculty members also, and I've seen here Ketan doing a remarkable job along with other faculty members. I congratulate on the onset that it is not only the national but the international luminaries have been brought to a common platform out here. And truly, this is what is the sense of industry, academia, interface, along with the research acumen, what Vice Chancellor Sir has vision and has given us a lead to. As a School of Business Studies we talk about and the tourism department, this particular conference, the theme which has been thought about is a well thought theme wherein we talk about what has been given by the World Tourism Day. Also, we were talking about rethinking tourism, and what was missing was has been added, and this is an apt addition which has been given, well researched thought for sustainability and community induced tourism. India, with the vision of Modi ji, has gone through for Atmanirbhar Bharat, and this Atmanirbhar Bharat has been made particularly clear with our vaccination drive, which we did not only for India but for the entire world. India has posed that kind of a scene with pandemic also rethinking tourism. I would say one day world will say that rethinking tourism in Indian vision, in Indian Vedic concept, and that is what has been done. So this is what is about rethinking the entire thing, going 360 degree back to Mahatma Gandhian approach. I do not say that Nehru Manavalis model was not an apt model at that particular period of time. But the Schumpeterian growth, if we talk about, can be attained only once when we rethink about with indigenous inclusivity, and that is what India done. With pandemic, India is the only country with the percentage loss in human manpower or for providing with vaccination or for going for satellites or for going for all the technological driven market. Yes, India has excelled. Tourism we provide, we should not be going back for the Western countries for following their themes. What has been required now is going back, rethinking it back to what our indigenous culture says. An apt theme. I congratulate the entire team. I congratulate each and every one student. I've seen that each and every student has played a tremendous amount of role, from moving from one nick and corner for this rangoli, beautiful rangoli laid out there, for the beautiful welcome that you have done. A big round of applause for the entire team out here who has been working here day and night. I've seen the head of the department and the faculty members standing for the poster being hung at art places, each and every faculty being invited. This is what is required. This is what tourism actually means. This is what the essence of Indian culture means. Going back to the Vedas, going rethinking it with Indian context, the entire world will follow. And this is what is a thoughtful has been kept forward. Dr. Anil Gupta ji, Dr. Parikshit Singh Manhas ji, Masani Saab, illuminaries who have been practitioners also and research. I would say, if you look at their research profile, they have immense research profile. Sitting with this luminaries out here, definitely at the end of the day, we'll be making sense out of this particular conference and will be coming out with publications also. Thank you one and all for being a participant to this particular event and this conference, and have a wonderful stay out here for all the participants. 40 plus, as has been communicated, more would have been joining and more of the participants coming, giving this opportunity. Thank you from core of the heart to the Honorable Vice Chancellor sir for making it a success. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Now it's time to honor the guests. So now I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Sanjeev Jain sir, to honor our guest of honor, Professor Parikshit Singh Manhas, with the stone. Now I would request sir to please present sapling to sir.
Yeah, made it something. देखिए तालियां बजती रहनी चाहिए, तालियां रुकनी नहीं चाहिए. We have all the galaxy and stalwarts from academia, so we should applaud them. We should go ahead for in reverence to all of them. Please, a big round of applause, everyone.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Sanjeev Jain sir, to honor keynote speaker, Dr. Anil Gupta, with stone. I would request sir to please also present sapling to sir. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Sanjeev Jain sir, to honor a keynote speaker, Professor Sandeep Alia, with stone. I would request sir to please also present sapling to sir. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Sanjeev Jain sir, to honor our special guest, Mr. S.M. Sani, with stone. also present sapling to sir. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Sanjeev Jain sir to honor our special guest, Dr. Baljeet Singh Ritstone. I would request sir to please present sapling to sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to request the head of the department, Dr. Amit Gangotia, to honor the registrar, sir, with the stole. Okay, now I would like to request our head of the department, Dr. Amit Gangotia, to honor Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Sanjeev Jain, sir, with stole. I would request sir to please present the Soli painting. I would request sir to please also present sapling to sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Sanjeev Jain, sir, for the presidential remark.
धन्यवाद। इस कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित प्रोफेसर मनास, प्रोफेसर अनिल गुप्ता, प्रोफेसर संदीप बालिया, प्रोफेसर साहिनी, प्रोफेसर जया वसीम, हमारे डीन्स, हेड ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट, फैकल्टी, स्टूडेंट्स, मुझे आज बड़ी खुशी है कि डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ टूरिज्म एंड ट्रैवल मैनेजमेंट अभी थोड़े दिन पहले भी एक कार्यक्रम किया था, क्योंकि अब इतने सारे कार्यक्रम होते हैं, याद नहीं रहता कि कब कौन सा कार्यक्रम। तो अमित गंगोटिया को खासकर मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ और उनकी टीम को धन्यवाद देता हूँ कि उन्होंने जो है एक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कॉन्फ्रेंस कार्यशाला जो है रीथिंकिंग टूरिज्म टू स्ट्राइव फॉर सस्टेनेबल एंड कम्युनिटी इंड्यूस्ड ग्रोथ, उसके लिए करी। तो वाकई में बहुत ही अच्छा विषय है, क्योंकि हम सब देख रहे हैं कि कोविड के बाद काफी चीजें बदली। हम जानते हैं कि हमारे देश की अर्थव्यवस्था में टूरिज्म का जो है बहुत बड़ा योगदान है, और जो कोविड के टाइम में देखा कि सब कुछ बंद हो गया था, तो वाकई में सबसे ज्यादा यदि कोई इफेक्टेड इंडस्ट्री रही है तो वो टूरिज्म ही रही है। पर धीरे धीरे सब कुछ नॉर्मल हुआ, सब कुछ नॉर्मल की तरफ जा रहा है, और आजकल हम देखते हैं कि एयरपोर्ट हो चाहे कुछ हो, सब में इतनी भीड़ है। और खासकर यदि इस सेक्टर की बात करूं, जम्मू कश्मीर की सेक्टर की बात करूं, जब भी मैं फ्लाइट से आता हूं तो मैं देखता हूं टिकट बहुत महंगा है, क्योंकि फ्लाइट के टिकट से एहसास हो जाता है कि हमको जो है जो टूरिज्म है उस सेक्टर में कितना ग्रोथ हो रहा है। क्योंकि खासकर जो ये वाला सेक्टर है जम्मू कश्मीर सेक्टर, यहाँ पर जब भी जो है टिकट के दाम बढ़ते हैं तो पता हो जाता है कि हाँ भाई अच्छी ग्रोथ चल रही है। तो ये आप सब लोगों का ही प्रयास है जो कि ये सब चीज हो रही है। पर यह भी सत्यता है कि कोविड ने हमको सिखा दिया है कि जो चुनौती आने वाली, हो सकता है अगला कोई भी आ जाए, तो भरोसा नहीं है। वायरस जिस हिसाब से आजकल, तो अभी देखिए आप चीन में क्या हो रहा है, आप लोगों को शायद मालूम है कि नहीं मालूम, काफी एजिटेशन भी हो रहा है वहां पर द थिंग्स आर गोइंग लाइक दैट वन। सो क्या स्थिरता कैसे आएगी अल्टीमेटली, इस सेक्टर के जो लोग हैं वो स्थिर कैसे होंगे, उनकी आय का साधन स्थिर कैसे होगा, ये एक सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है, खासकर की पर्यटन का जो उद्योग है उसके लिए। तो मेरा यह सोच है कि अभी जो आज कॉन्फ्रेंस 2 दिन रहेगी उसमें जरूर इस बात पर चिंतन होगा कि हम इसके लिए जो है क्या कर सकते हैं, इस सेक्टर में स्थिरता के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं। एक चीज और मैं कहना चाहूंगा, खास करके डिपार्टमेंट के लिए बोलूंगा कि आप बच्चों को जो है आसपास के जो भी पर्यटन स्थल है वहां पर जरूर लेके जाइएगा, क्योंकि मैं ये देखता हूं कि बच्चे किताबों में बड़ी बड़ी बातें सीखते हैं, नो डाउट वो सब आवश्यक भी है, पर जो एक पर्यटन स्थल का स्वरूप होता है तो कैसा होगा, कैसा होना चाहिए, ये सोच जब आएगी जब आसपास के आप पर्यटन स्थलों को घूम लेंगे। क्योंकि मैं देखता हूँ कि बहुत से ऐसे बच्चे हैं जो उनको ये भी नहीं मालूम कि यहाँ आसपास जो है कितना पर्यटन स्थल जो है उपलब्ध है और उसमें कितनी संभावना है। क्योंकि जैसे जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी इंटरवेंशन हो रहा है, आप देख रहे होंगे संभावना बढ़ रही है। अब हमको किसी भी पर्यटन स्थल के बारे में जानकारी देखने की आवश्यकता है तो यूट्यूब पे देख लीजिए, कुछ ना कुछ इसके बारे में अवेलेबल हो, जिससे कि हम पता लगा सकते हैं कि कौन से सेक्टर में जो या कहाँ पर जाके जो है हमको पर्यटन करना है। तो ये सब चीजें आने के कारण हमको ये समझना पड़ेगा कि हमारे इधर का जो कोर्स है क्या वो इस बात को ध्यान में दे रहा है कि टेक्नोलॉजी की जो चेंज आ रही है, तो खासकर कोविड के बाद जो चेंज आई है, तो वो उस बात को जरूर ध्यान में रखते हुए हम चाहते हैं कि हमारे छात्र और छात्राओं को उस हिसाब से शिक्षा दी जाए। जहां तक कि राष्ट्रीय पर्यटन नीति 2022 भी आई हुई है, उसमें हम देख रहे हैं कि पर्यटन को जो है बहुत ज्यादा आर्थिक दिशा में जो है योगदान के लिए देखा गया है और मैं चाहता हूं कि इसमें भी जो है काफी कार्य किया जाए। जहां तक कि मुझे मालूम है कि इसमें इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस है, मैं देख रहा था कि काफी बाहर के भी जो है शिक्षाविद जो है इसमें उपलब्ध है। तो मैं चाहता हूं कि छात्र जो यहाँ पर बैठे हैं और भी जो कॉन्फ्रेंस में पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा जो है इस बात का ध्यान दें और इस बात को उनसे जो इंटरेक्शन करें, जिससे कि कुछ आउटपुट जो है अच्छा आ सके, ये मैं चाहता हूँ। इसलिए जो है इसी बात को कहते हुए मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूँ, क्योंकि अभी थोड़ा सा मैं ज्यादा नहीं बैठ पाऊंगा यहाँ पर, क्योंकि मुझे एक मीटिंग है, उसमें मुझे ऑनलाइन मीटिंग में जाना है। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite our special guest, Mr. S.M. Sani, convener, Intact Jammu chapter, retired KS, and former director of tourism Jammu, to announce institutional membership of the Department of Tourism and Travel Management with Intact. Thank you, sir.
Vice Chancellor, sir, guest of honor, guests, faculty members, dear students, it's my proud privilege to announce the institutional membership of MBA TTM of Central University of Jammu, the prestigious University of Jammu. I would like Mr. Gotia, the HOD, to receive the membership form along with the introduction as well as enrollment as institutional membership of the TTM, Central University of Jammu. And I will request our Vice Chancellor to level the pin to Shri Gotia and to hand over the membership certificate. Shri Gotia.
A big round, everyone. A big round of applause, everyone.
I would request the Vice Chancellor, sir, to receive a memento from Shri Mr. Gotia on behalf of Intact family.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Sanjeev Jain, sir, to please honor Dean School of Business Studies, JMU. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to request Head of the Department, Dr. Amit Gugotia, sir, to please honor the Deans. First, Professor Devanand, sir. Now, I would like to request, sir, to please honor Babu, sir. Now, I would like to request, sir, to please honor Rasal, sir. Now, I would like to request, sir, to please honor Patania, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to request our guest of honor, Professor Prakshit Singh Manhas, Director, School of Hospitality and Tourism Management, University of Jammu, to come on a dais and enlighten us with his words of wisdom. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Prakshit for the
A very good afternoon. A very good afternoon to Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Good afternoon to Sani Saab, Dr. Sandeep, Dr. Anil, Professor Jaya, my friends who have joined online, Jitesh and other dignitaries, as well as all the dignitaries of the dais, and my dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to be part of this gathering, as well as to present some few ideas, few thoughts about today's topic. First of all, obviously Amit and his team has done a very good job with selecting or moving towards or discussing a very important theme, which is very relevant, as well as which is actually very impactful vis-a-vis the present times are concerned. Is this working? Is this working now? Okay. You can have this. So, theme that they have chosen, obviously, it has a couple of very positives embedded in it. First of all, sustainability. To be very candid and honest about it, it's a very overused word. Used in every aspect of our lives, used by everyone. But that does not mean that it is not an impactful word, or it does not carry an impact vis-a-vis tourism industry or any other industry in this world is concerned, or general well-being of the people is concerned. When we talk about sustainability, what do we actually mean? What are we trying to refer to? We are trying to refer to the fact leaving the world in the same manner, if not in a better manner, as we acquired it. Sustainability is part of each and everything that we do. We all entered this auditorium. The seats were in a particular order. Things were in a particular order. Things were clean. When you leave, ensure they are in the same order, if not in a better manner. That's sustainability. FIFA is going on. You must have had seen matches of Japanese team playing different matches. If someone goes back and Googles, you'll find all the Japanese fans, after their team finishes their match, clean the area in which they sit. They have been carrying and they have been taking care of that garbage. That's what sustainability is all about. So very impactful, but yes, overused. That's why people are not giving it that much importance as it should get. So for the youngsters, for the gathering over here, try to see that you are sustainable in each and every manner that you work. See to it that whatever you are doing, it carries that sustainability element with it. community induced. Over the period, we have realized the fact human is the most important resource. As management, as management students or vis-a-vis in the field of management, we always keep talking about men, money, machinery, material, methods. But men is the most important resource. And communities are the one which actually help you build up nations, which help you to endorse or keep intact your economies and culture. And this is what is very, very, very imperative to understand for all the youngsters and for all the people who are doing businesses these days. See to it that your ideas, your thoughts, your processes are community based. Community is part of each and every action that you intend to take on, that you intend to move towards, that you intend to build up. This is again a very important aspect. Rethinking. Now, why rethinking? Personally, I feel we still have to think a lot, not rethink. We still have to reach a level where we want to go back to the times when we started our journey. Our journey is still on. Yes, as Honorable Vice Chancellor was talking about, COVID did create a havoc vis-a-vis tourism industry was concerned. We were near to zero. But the basic fact that we were the fastest to growth, we were the fastest to recover is an important aspect. You all must have heard about a word called as revenge tourism. Everybody was very revengeful of the fact that they wanted to get out of their houses. And domestic tourism was the one which was actually boosting it. So working on building up strategizing vis-a-vis tourism is concerned is an important aspect. And bringing sustainability in this, a very basic aspect or very basic factor which actually brings about the sustainability, again this was touched by the Honorable Vice Chancellor, is technology or artificial intelligence or technology-induced innovations which actually will bring about sustainability in the ecosystem, which will actually help building up sustainability in the ecosystem. This topic is also relevant vis-a-vis the conflicts that are going around in the globe. We all feel the fact that when a community has enough resources on hand, again, men, money, machinery, material, methods, obviously they would not be at war or at conflict with other people. They would be self-sustainable. They would be happy. But when they are not sustainable, their resources are not enough, then this clamor for war also starts. This clamor for supremacy also starts. Everybody wants to become supreme. And then this all aspects of terrorism, militancy, conflicts, they arise. So you see the importance of community and sustainability. If you have a sustainable community which is able to take care of all its needs, wants, and desires, obviously this aspect of conflict would also be reduced considerably in a very, very big manner. So that is what we always keep talking about, keep working. One final mantra which I would like to share with my students present over here, how to think about rebuilding, redesigning, rethinking tourism, how to think about getting it on track in a sustainable manner. Be very, very adaptable and inclusive. Adaptability is towards you. When you tomorrow go to the industry, see how the industry is growing, how industry is building it up. Be adaptable to that particular, those patterns that are existing over there. And the inclusivity aspect, take everybody along with you. Don't leave anyone. Take as many people, as many communities, as many cross sections of society that you can along with you. This will help you to grow. This will help you to build up. And that will actually build up that sustainability. Rather, sustainability will automatically be embedded in your actions, whatever actions that you're trying to do, that you're trying to build up. And so the growth or the economic aspect will start growing. I'll not take much of your time. We have the keynotes over here who are going to talk about this topic, this theme. But my basic role was as a guest of honor to introduce you to the topic and thank Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Central University for growing at such a fast pace and giving competition to all its peer universities within the region. That's a very important aspect. This university has a very young team vis-a-vis tourism faculty is concerned. And similarly, I also understand about the other departments, but a fairly young team. And they are still trying to carve a niche for themselves. They are trying to build themselves up. And they are able to get hold of so many international luminaries on board. That's a heartening aspect. Congratulations, Amit. Congratulations, your team. And I sincerely feel the way, the dynamism that this Vice Chancellor is showing, how he's moving forward. I feel that within next coming few years or few months are going to be very bright for you, and you are going to grow like anything. Good luck, all the best, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your motivation and mind-blowing address, sir. Dear all, we have been joined by Dr. Pansy Singh from ABM College, Calgary campus of Canada. So give her a big round. Thank you so much for your benign presence, madam. I have an immense pleasure to welcome you on this international conference today. Now I would like to request Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to please felicitate Ms. Pansy.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Now, joining us online, I would like to invite our keynote speaker, Dr. Jitesh Kumar, Assistant Director, Information Management and Documentation, Center for Research and Innovation in Tourism, Faculty of Social Science and Leisure Tourism Management, Taylor University, Malaysia, to say a few words on this occasion.
Sir? Hello, am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Great. Just allow me to share my screen and then.
Sir, but your voice is very low.
Is it my screen shared?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if audio and video is both are fine, may I start?
Sir, can you please wait for 2 minutes?
Sure.
Dr. Jitesh,
Yes.
just a minute, sir. There is some problem.
Sure.
No, you can go ahead, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Is it all okay to go? I can still hear some voices.
Good to go, sir.
Thank you so much. So first of all, I would like to congratulate the Dean, Vice Chancellor, Head of the School of Central University of Jammu. Thank you so much for organizing this conference. Special gratitude to Head of the School, Dr. Amit Kangotia, for inviting me. Special thanks to Ketan, dear friend. Wonderful job. Coming to the topic of rethinking tourism. Why exactly we need to think of rethink of tourism actually? Professor Prakshat have already cleared the gap actually. I was listening to him. It's always pleasure to listen to him. But somehow he have concluded my talk, what I have planned, 8 to 10 slides actually, which I'm going to discuss shortly in a few slides, in a few minutes now. So rethinking, when I got this topic actually, it's not a new topic. For the last few months, I have attended, I have spoke to a number of events, online events as well as a physical, and recently the theme of the World Tourism Day was Rethinking Tourism by UNWTO as well. Why exactly we need to rethink actually? And rethinking, when I was researching about this, when I was preparing some material, it revolves around these few keywords: rethinking, rebuilding, resetting, generating or re-engineering as well as recovering. So we need to rethink because there was some issue. So I won't focus more on statistics, what exactly happened and what was the impact and so on. Because all those information is already available somewhere in UNWTO highlights, or just Google it, you can get. My talk for the next 15-20 minutes is more on epistemological aspects actually. So what exactly is happening and where exactly we need to change. Where we have to change our mindset, our ideas, the thinking, the decision power, the way of tackling several things, those factors, and then what will happen? It all revolves around the crisis actually, and especially, of course, the COVID-19 is one of the major aspects why we have to rethink. But the question is it the very first crisis? Is it the very first pandemic we have seen in our history? Our past is full of number of crises. We have seen tsunami, we have seen SARS, we have seen the earthquake, or if we talk about terrorist attacks and so on, those all affects tourism industry. Why, Chancellor sir, we're talking about that tourism industry get effect very easily? Yes, sir. This is a very fragile industry. Anything happens in the destination or outside the destination, it really affects the tourism in a general go. So what exactly we are learning? What we have learned from our past, from the past crisis? If we didn't learn anything and if we are still going on, it's a fragile industry, it will come back, it will bounce back, it will take some time. We have started with the domestic tourism and then the borders are open, but still pandemic is not over. So we have to think for the past, present and future, because we are talking about making the tourism industry resilient. Again, one more keyword is sustainable. Of course, sustainability are sustainable practices that has been used several times. But again, we cannot get out of it. And after the pandemic, immediately like last 6 months, everything starts or ends with the sustainability. Why exactly? There are a number of new types of tourism have been emerged. So it is not only the crisis which pushed us back or negative or leave the negative impact. I can list down too many positive impacts of this COVID-19. We have adopted that technology which we are supposed to have probably in next couple of years. We are having this virtual conferences, virtual events, virtual teaching, and so on. The number of universities, advanced universities, or in most developed countries, probably they are having. We have started this online in Kilis University, Malaysia, that online thing probably 4 years back, but it was not up to the mark. Probably once in a time period we were having that, or probably out of 14 weeks, one lecture was just online. But immediately, over the night, we turned everything online because we were forced to do by this crisis. We have adopted a number of technologies. So technology is another keyword actually, which we got as a positive gift from this crisis, which we learned something. Then weaknesses, business model. What were the weaknesses actually? Number of businesses, SMEs, because in Malaysia, if I talk about tourism industry in Malaysia, 86% stakeholder, private sector or SMEs actually, they cannot sustain that loss longer, probably 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, but pandemic was not over. Or still there is no guarantee actually. All the sudden cases goes up, all the sudden cases goes down, it depends actually. We have SOPs, but it's not those strict at the moment, because now pandemic is declared as endemic actually. Gaps in the key tourism stakeholder, public and private, there is a huge gap whose job is to bring them together. Also, Prof. Prakshat was talking about community engagement. Of course, if government or public sector is taking any of the decision without checking and having the consent of a local public, then it will be a problem. We will be ending up with dissatisfaction of our tourists, because tourists goes to the destination and meet to the local people, and they are the host. coordination and response. So in between these different sectors, public, private, volunteer, and the tourist, different stakeholders, the coordination is missing and response is not immediate to meet with this crisis. We were not that responsive. We means the stakeholders actually. Sustainable recovery of tourism is a hope. It's a will, it's a wish which everyone wants. And then the problem of over tourism. Number of European destination, if I can call Barcelona was having this issue. The local people, the local community was not happy with the tourism because it was going more than the carrying capacity. But due to the pandemic, actually, it become from over tourism to no tourism. Again, that's another problem. We have to limit. And when I talk about carrying capacity, the best example comes to my mind is the country in Asia, Bhutan. How Bhutan limit on the tourist and promotion of happiness has made it the top place to visit. So their priority is not that how many tourists will come, means tourist arrival, or how much they will bring, means tourist receipt. They are not talking about their wealth, how much we are earning, the foreign exchange. They are focusing on the local people's happiness, the citizens' happiness, making sure that everyone is happy. The only country which measures progress of happiness by the happiness of its citizen rather than a wealth. It's a wonderful example. I'm sure most of you know, but if not, just Google about it. The very first link will give you the beautiful examples. And that's the thing which every country should have, but of course not. I was listening to the best person in tourism industry, the one of the pioneer, Prof. Jeffrey, and I was having this discussion that every country has its own restrictions. Every country has its own priorities actually. Bhutan has tourism industry, but they are not that dependent on it only. Not every country is dependent on tourism only. Malaysia, tourism industry is number one in terms of service, but if we talk on general, it's probably second, third, or fourth industry. But if we talk about Mauritius, Maldives, or some other European destinations, tourism industry is not the major. Same thing with India. Tourism industry, yes, it has some significance. It contributes to the overall country's GDP, the huge in terms of foreign exchange, in terms of job creation, and there are huge range of positive impacts which we can list down. But we have to make the priority, and this is the time where we have to rethink when the entire tourism industry globally was on pause. Because environment which we are damaging need a time to recover back. If we don't give a time, we will only be talking about sustainability because we are not practicing sustainable activities and so on. Further going, promoting the digital transformation for or transition and responsible tourism. I'm not sure actually is it the right word, transformation or transition? Because from one step moving to the other step, the second step should be the much better or the best one compared to the previous step. Digital transformation, everyone is having mobile phones, smartphones are connected with the Wi-Fi, 3G, internet, World Wide Web, because we are traveling through them. Virtual tourism was in focus, but for me as a tourism reader, I believe virtual tourism is not which I want or which we want. That can be one of the best marketing activity only to just visualize, because earlier we used to see the posters, we used to see the website, we used to see the videos, 3D, 4D, HD or 6D videos. Now we are experiencing those also, but that doesn't fulfill my actual need. And that is the thing which we have learned actually, digital transformation. The actual information has to be transmitted to the tourists because tourists are not having confidence. In next one or two slides, I will have more focus on it. Responsible tourism is one of the most important things, or become a volunteer tourist actually. We are traveling to the different destination because we are having a fun, we are traveling for a leisure purpose. But beside leisure, are we the responsible tourists? Don't damage the environment. Don't leave your carbon footprints there, or do something. Don't litter here. That's the reason actually those are the negative impacts of tourism, or we can say over tourism. Greener tourism system, well, green tourism, everyone is talking about these green practices, but are we really practicing? When I said we, I mean to stakeholder. Restaurants, F&B industry, hotelier, accommodation industry, transportations, entertainment, theme parks, casinos, beach, or any of the island. Are we having these green practices in a picture? We talk a lot. In the literature is full of it actually. Hundreds of papers are published on these green practices. But are we really practicing? Is there any measure? Is there any proper scale to measure these? Safe and seamless transportation connectivity due to this COVID-19 or due to this pandemic actually. Transportation industry got hit very badly. Of course, airlines were grounded, and number of airlines have cut down their routes, direct routes right. Now, if I have to travel to Toulouse, France, I have to have 2 transits. Earlier, we used to have a direct flight actually, or probably from KL to Paris, Toulouse. We can go by road, or we can have a domestic flight. Timely and cheaper as well. Okay, so that cheaper, that the cost where the tickets are expensive, slowly and gradually we will have that same normal the budgets actually after some time. But due to this COVID, our budget have been increased also. We must have some kind of insurance, we must have these vaccination passports and so on. So extra thing came on. But slowly and gradually we will forget this. But what we have learned from this pandemic actually, and for God's sake, if we are having the same type of pandemic in near future also, are we going to suffer like this again? As Vice Chancellor sir were talking about, like these viruses are very common. Of course, it's very common. But how many vaccines we are having every day, or every month, or every year? Tourism infrastructure investment, one of the most important element actually. But who has to invest? Public, private, or a foreign? FDIs, foreign domestic investments. And how to manage, how to maintain that investment, making sure that that investment is going to the good hands. And those destinations or those infrastructure in a particular destination is being maintained properly. Rebuilding tourism is a priority, but the sector must become more sustainable and resilient in the future. It looks very good. It sounds very good, sustainable, resilience, and those fancy words. But we as an individual have to put our efforts rather only talk. So if we want to go to any destination for a visit, making sure that we are a responsible tourist. That where are we going? Rather than going for, in a simple term, I can say, stopping the leakage from the economy. However, how much we are investing, spending in that locality, spend with the locals actually. Stay with the locals. Stay with the local hotel or the homestay concept actually. I'm not sure if it is applicable or available in India. Or buying from the locals actually. Rather going to the big marts or international marts or brands, restoring traveler confidence, supporting tourism business to adapt or survive. These are the few things which we have seen in the last 1 year in Malaysia actually. Confidence build-up is the most important. Like we used to say, destination image. Image is the most important. So in tourism, for me as a tourist actually, the confidence is the most important. If we don't have a proper confidence, it will be harder, and we have to bring this confidence for our domestic tourists first, because immediately when those MCOs and those movement control order was lifted, domestic tourism was open. because international borders were still closed. And I was talking to my local friends, Malaysian friends actually. They never been to here or there. I'm here in Malaysia for last 10 years, being a tourism lecturer, tourism researcher. I have visited each and every part of Malaysia. Because someday, today or tomorrow, I have to leave this country. But the locals who have visited most of the European countries, they never been to Langkawi are the best places in Malaysia. When they need to travel, they used to ask me. Like probably in other words or layman words, I am a travel agent for them, a tour guide for them. But due to this pandemic, actually, they visited here and they found that this is really beautiful. And the safe return of international tourists will happen only by building up the confidence that yes, we are safe and we have this type of protocols, this type of SOPs, and providing a clear information. Rather than clear, I want to make it a correction here, some providing accurate information, up-to-date information about the businesses and limiting the uncertainty. If we are unsure what will happen, it's like, I don't have any control, it's going to rain. Well, of course, we don't have any control, but there are significant things which we have a control on. Safety and security, controlling the number, limiting the number, evolving response measure to maintain capacity in the sector and address gaps in supports. What are the gaps? And minimizing the import and maximizing the export. I don't mean that minimizing the outbound and maximizing the inbound. Again, we will be ending up with over tourism. This is the time where we have to reshape. This is the time where we have to re-strategize. This is the time where we have to rethink. And this is the time where we have to change our mindset, that what exactly we want when we go to the particular tourism destination. And here I would like to bring another keyword as a volunteer tourism. Be a volunteer, rather only going for visiting places. Stay with locals and give them what exactly they are in need of. Volunteer your services. If you are a tourism lecturer, if you are an English lecturer, if you are any of the profession you are from, you can share your experience with them. Strengthening cooperation within and between countries. Cooperation in between or beyond the border. Building more resilient and sustainable tourism will happen only by adopting these practices and learning what exactly the other are doing, what exactly is happening. I would like to highlight one more point: strengthening cooperation within and between countries. How many countries are in Indian national can travel without getting a visa? Or in other words, we can say visa on arrival is available. Well, that's more on political aspects. What are the relation? I don't want to touch that. But in regards to tourism, we must have some good type of bonding actually. Transformation is must, and we have to bring that transform to us. The new term is socializing tourism. Rather travel only for fun, socialize with them. Socialize with the local community, to spend time when you are not working with friends. We used to travel for work, business tourism. We used to travel with family, leisure tourism, or VFR, or any other sort of reason. But do we travel only to know about the local community? Yes, there is some kind of cultural tourism, heritage tourism, but again, we have our own priority to train people to behave in a way that others in the group think is suitable. Volunteer your services to train the local people. Socializing tourism means reorienting travel and tourism based on the locals' rights, interests, and safeguarding the traditional, ecological, and culture. So it's being revolving around two types of tourism: volunteer and responsible tourism. Socializing tourism refers to an agenda for change in tourism towards local community rights, benefits, and control, maximizing the rights or benefits to the local community. Because once the local community, the local people, the citizens of that destinations are happy, they understand that the tourism is good for them. It will happen, and it will be a beneficial for tourists as well as the local community. Of course, the government, the public sector is doing a lot, but somehow it's failed in educating the locals as well as the tourists. We used to travel. I traveled a few years back to Bali. Everywhere I have found do and don'ts. What you are not supposed to do, that is the most important for me. By mistake, if I'm offending locals, being a Hindu, I wasn't allowed to enter in an Indian Hindu temple. We have, they have some kind of borders. Yes, this is your limit. Doesn't matter.
Excuse me, Jitesh sir.
Yes, please.
I'm really sorry to cut you, but because we are already running short of time, so can I please request you to conclude your presentation?
Sure. So just continue with the example, and then probably a few minutes I will finish. Being a Hindu also, I was stopped to go to a temple actually, because it's not only the Hindu, every tourist from any part, doesn't matter which religion, because only the locals are allowed to go and enter in the temple to perform their religious activities, the prayer things and so on. Being a tourist, we are not allowed. And somehow on the socializing tourism, that is the most important when we talk about redefining tourism and socializing tourism to serve the local community. Of course, wellness tourism is not the new, but become in a more focused actually. Everyone was curious where exactly I am going, how I am going, who I am going with, what I will be eating and so on. Become very conscious actually, while being a revenge tourist. And then these are the few trends actually which were emerged recently, or we can say by last quarter of 2021. Techno-savvy, personalized services, preferred plans, everything should be planned actually. GIT or group tours were discouraged actually. Solo traveler become very famous or become more revealing actually. Sustainability should be considered as a key element. Of course, we are living with sustainability. But my last message is be a volunteer tourist and apply the sustainable practices while you go for travel. Rather only read and talk about the sustainable tourism. Back to business travel, slowly and gradually, almost if I see the number of tourist arrival is increasing, probably by end of next year, we will have the same what we had before COVID. With that, thank you so much. Back to Chetan.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening all of us. Now I would like to call upon Dr. Amitabh Mishra from College of Applied Sciences, Ministry of Higher Education, Oman. Sir, can we please have you on the screen? Dignitaries on the dais may kindly sit in the front rows.
Professor Mishra, am I audible to you?
Yes, doctor, exactly.
Namaskar, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sir, over to you.
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, sir. Welcome to virtually to India, sir. And over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible to you?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
But I cannot hear your. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon to all distinguished guests, participants, scholars, and students. Greetings and best wishes of the day from the Sultanate of Oman. Actually, it's a pleasant morning over here in Oman, and in India it's afternoon. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere thanks and appreciation to the organizers for inviting me as a keynote speaker for this amazing international conference on rethinking tourism to strive for sustainable and community-induced growth. My special thanks goes to Professor Amit Gangotia, the initiator of this conference, for making me a part of this wonderful event. Today, I'm going to speak on rethinking tourism from the perspective of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. It's GCC countries. Please allow me to share my presentation.
Sir, you can share it also. So you want me to use it?
Sir, you can share your presentation. Professor?
Yes, I'm doing.
Sorry.
Just a minute.
Sir, should we share it from our end, sir? We are having your presentation at our backup, sir. Can we share it from our end, sir?
Yes, sir. Better. I think due to some technical reasons, I'm not able to
No problem,
share
sir,
it.
no problem. We are sharing the presentation.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, we have shared your presentation. You can go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Today, I'm going to speak on rethinking tourism from the perspective of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. My speech today will focus mostly on finding new approaches to manage tourism and hospitality in the new era. Next slide, please. Yes. Before moving ahead, let me give you a brief idea about GCC countries, Gulf Cooperation Council. Basically, Gulf Cooperation Council countries are the 6 countries. They have formed a kind of economic and political integration, just like as European Union and other integrations. It was formed in the year 1981, in the month of May, in Riyadh, the capital city of Saudi Arabia, in light of their special connections, special ties, geographical proximity, similar political system based on Islamic principles, etc. So altogether, these 6 countries, they are sharing their own benefits, own interests, and the political systems as well. So these days, rethinking tourism, basically this particular term has become a buzzword. Almost all the countries, developing countries, they are talking about rethinking tourism, reimagining tourism and all. So in my today's presentation, I'm going to speak about rethinking tourism practices or rethinking tourism from the perspective of GCC countries. Can you move ahead, please? The next slide. Yes. What is rethinking tourism? Everybody knows about rethinking tourism. So what does it mean, and why it is needed basically? What does it mean? So rethinking tourism means putting people and planet first and bringing everyone from governments and businesses to local communities together around a shared vision for a more sustainable, inclusive, and resilient sector. So basically, rethinking tourism is a way of transforming obstacles into possibilities and creating the future of leisure travel. Next slide, please. Yes. Now, the question is, why to rethink tourism? Why to rethink tourism? What is the need of rethinking tourism? So, there are basically four different purposes or four different motives of rethinking tourism, by way of rethinking tourism. There is a possibility of improving tourist experiences. By way of rethinking tourism, we can better manage the impacts of tourism, encouraging positive spillover effects on the wider economy, and to reflect on the importance of tourism to foster peace and protect cultural heritage. Actually, there are a lot of objectives behind rethinking tourism, but these are the four most common, most popular reasons behind rethinking tourism or reimagining tourism. From the perspective of GCC, if we talk about, so I would say that while the whole world started rethinking tourism after the COVID-19 crisis, the GCC countries were the first to take a stand in this domain, much ahead of other countries. It's not that they started working on rethinking or reimagining tourism after COVID-19 pandemic or from the time of COVID-19 pandemic. No. In fact, while considering global warming and environmental pollution, almost we can say that 7 to 8 years or 10 years before from now, from the era of COVID-19, GCC countries started working on new dimensions of tourism. I mean to say, rethinking tourism. And rethinking tourism that supports sustainable tourism or responsible tourism. Actually, these countries, they have realized that oil is limited and tourism is the future. I would like to tell you that most of these GCC countries, 6 countries, almost all the countries, they are oil dependent countries. Almost 60 to 70% of their economy comes from oil. But the thing that oil resources are limited, they are not going to last for good. So that's why these days, most of these countries, they are looking towards diversifying their economy. And tourism is one of the best sectors to diversify the economy. So they are concentrating, they are focusing more on tourism. They are quite rich in terms of tourism resources, artificial resources, natural resources, heritage, culture, everything. They are very good in all these resources. The conservative traditional societies of Arab nations that had been relying upon an oil-based economy have shifted their focus to other non-oil-based resources. Yes, as I have told you that actually, I would like to mention a point over here that most of these countries, almost all these countries, they are the Islamic countries, and based on their culture, Islamic culture or Arab culture, actually tourism industry was not being appreciated too much. It was not considered as like tourism activities are not considered as something like very good or very safe. So these countries, they were having less attention, less focus towards tourism and hospitality development. Nowadays, yes, after considering, as I have mentioned, that after considering global warming and environmental pollution and all, they have started focusing towards tourism development. And yes, there are many mega projects that are coming up into these countries. Mainly, these Gulf countries, Gulf Cooperation Council countries, they are mainly focusing on 2 objectives for rethinking tourism. 2 objectives. First is, by way of rethinking tourism, the Gulf countries, Council countries, GCC countries are trying tourism to sustain further and achieve sustainable development goals. Sustainable development goals. And rethinking tourism will develop resilience, which will help the tourism industry to sustain itself in any situation or any crisis. So these are the two major motives behind the reimagining of tourism or rethinking tourism over here in GCC, within the GCC countries. So to reimagine or rethink tourism and transform it into a mainstream commercial opportunity, most of the GCC countries have launched mega projects and events to attract international and regional tourists. Some of the mega projects, actually, they are having a huge number of mega projects, but because of the limitation of the time, we cannot discuss, I cannot discuss all such mega projects over here. So just I have selected a few mega projects which are being developed by these countries, and I'm going to speak a little bit about those mega projects over here. There are 6 countries within this council. First is Qatar. So Qatar is a country which is focusing more on sports events, sports hubs, and all. In the year 2019, before COVID-19 pandemic appeared, World Athletic Championship was organized by Qatar, and a huge number of visitors visited Qatar. It was a good growth for Qatar. Then 2022, at present, FIFA World Cup, Football World Cup, it's going on in Qatar, and it is expected that Qatar will be receiving around 1 million visitors to attend this particular event. Then next year, 2023, Qatar is planning to organize a World Aquatic Championship. So actually, these are not the mega projects. Basically, we can say that major developments in the field of tourism. This is how these are one of the strategies also can be considered, basically. Then in the same row, other than Qatar, the next country is UAE. So UAE, United Arab Emirates, it has organized a World Expo in Dubai in 2020. Basically, it was planned to be organized in the year 2020. This expo is also called Dubai Expo, but because of the COVID-19 pandemic scenario, it was shifted from 2020 to 2021, and it was a mega hit. A huge number of visitors visited Dubai in order to attend this particular event, expo. Another strategy to promote and to bring more number of visitors, good quality visitors, is Golden Visa. Recently, the government of UAE has started offering Golden Visa, almost we can say that 10 years visa for its expatriates, employees, foreigners who are staying over there, especially working in the field of higher education and medical science. Now they are there, they are having Golden Visa, they can stay for longer time period. So this is how indirectly more number of visitors will be visiting. Those employees, near and dear ones, friends, families, PFR category will be promoted. UAE believes on recruiting excellent intellectuals, excellent employees from all over the world and from different cultures. UAE is also an excellent destination in terms of innovative architectural sites. You might have seen in social media or television somewhere, and that recently Dubai has made a museum of future. Okay, this is one example. Another example: the tallest building of the world, Burj Khalifa, that is located in Dubai. Burj Al Arab, the tallest and the only 7-star hotel, is located in Dubai. Dubai Frame, and a lot of architectural sites are located in UAE. These days, UAE is also promoting luxury shopping tourism. What is it? luxury shopping, it has been observed that celebrities, especially film actors, Hollywood and Bollywood film actors, sports players, sportsmen, and all, who are not feeling comfortable while shopping in their home countries because of their popularity and because of the safety and security concerns. UAE welcomes them. UAE says that, yeah, you're welcome, visit us, we will be taking care of you, we will be fulfilling all your desires, all your needs, we will be offering whatever you want, we will be taking care of your safety and security, etc. Then I'll speak a little bit about Saudi Arabia as well. Saudi Arabia is, we can say that it's youngest country within the GCC group in terms of tourism development. They were not more into tourism development before, but these days, considering tourism as a sector for economic development, they are promoting. So they have a number of mega projects such as Neom City. Neom City is yes. Yes. Just allow me for 2-3 more minutes. I'll conclude it. Just 2-3 minutes. Yeah. Thank you. So Neom is a city being built in Tabuk province and northwestern Saudi Arabia, and it is planned to incorporate smart city technologies and function as a tourist destination. Neom city aims to be the future of livability as its foundation, unprecedented in scope. Another project is Qiddiya project. Qiddiya project is the I would say that this project is stated to be the largest tourism destination in the world by 2030, covering an area of 334 square kilometers, larger than even Disney World. By 2030, Qiddiya will witness an annual flow of almost 17 million visitors. Another project being developed by Saudi Arabia is Amala project. This project, the 4,155 square kilometers year-round destination they are going to develop with 3,000 hotel rooms across some 25 hotels and all. A long list is there. Then the next destination is Oman. Oman is very, very popular, beautiful, safe and secure luxury tourism destination. It promotes luxury. Luxury is its niche. Recently, they have come up with an initiative or a strategy in order to increase tourism, which is they have exempted visa formalities for the GCC residents, citizens, and people who are working or who are staying within the GCC countries. They are most welcome without having any visa formalities. A special entry provision have been made for the visitors of World Cup, FIFA World Cup. Means they are welcome. They're coming to the country without having more number of formalities and all. Oman is a popular wedding tourism destination. Film shooting is also being promoted. Similarly, in the same way, Bahrain and Kuwait, these are the two more countries, member countries, and they are also promoting their own resources, basically ecotourism and museums, mosques, traditional markets. Pearl diving tourism is one of the popular, very famous events of Kuwait. Other than these mega projects, I would like to tell you that GCC countries actually they are also working on blue tourism or blue economy. Blue economy basically means all economic activities related to oceans, seas, and coast. So they are promoting, they are trying to utilize their blue resources as well. They are also working on green tourism and responsible tourism, no doubt. All these strategies, all these developments, they are being taken place because of responsible tourism in order to support responsible tourism more than sustainable tourism. And most of these mega projects, the renewable energy is being used, such as wind power energy and solar energy, etc. So at the end, I would say that all the GCC countries are continuously putting their efforts to offer sustainable and environmentally friendly tourism activities to visitors, and they want to project themselves as highly responsible tourism destinations. Now their focus is to connect the visitors' requirements, visitors' needs, and destination offerings. Now, not taking much of your time with these words, I would like to end my presentation, and I extend my sincere gratitude and appreciation to all the listeners for listening to my presentation. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.
Kindly pay your attention, everyone. We have been joined by Dr. Sunil Kumar from IHMS Badarpur, Uttarakhand. So may I kindly request Dr. Namit Gangotia to felicitate Sunil sir.
Invite our keynote speaker, Dr. Anil Gupta, Assistant Professor, School of Hospitality and Tourism Management, Faculty of Business Study, University to enrich us with his words.
Before sir takes over the mic, so I'd like to tell all the audience, all the August gathering present over here. The speaker who is about to come on dais is one of a very, very profound and leading academician in the field of tourism academia. And he's a profound researcher to talk about any category, A star, and I don't know, A, B, C, D, all categories. So he pertains to that category of scholars. And he's one of the top scholars who has been ranked by different international universities also and different international standards also. And we are having privilege to have Professor Anil Gupta sir to have with us for this international conference. So over to you, sir. Big round of applause for Anil sir, please. Everyone.
Thank you. I'm audible? आ रही बेटे पीछे आवाज आ रही है? Right. So first of all, thank you, Dr. Amit, for the kind words, Dr. Ranjit Raman for the kind words, and thank you so much for inviting me to interact with the young students and the research scholars. You know, already the learned speakers on guys have shared a lot of insights. Or that all of you understand Hindi? So I'll use mix of Hindi and English to convey the thought that I bring to the table today. और जैसे डॉक्टर अमित ने बोला कि स्कॉलरली प्रोफाइल, सो मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि थोड़ी स्कॉलरली बात ही कर लेते हैं. उसको सिंपल टर्म्स में आई ट्राई टू डिस्कस विद यू. द ऑनरेबल वाइस चांसलर today in Manas, and to international speakers those raised questions about this particular topic. The theme, I was looking at the beautifully crafted theme, and I should compliment Dr. Arvind and the entire team at Department of Tourism for beautifully crafting out the theme. बहुत सारी बात सस्टेनेबिलिटी को लेके हो गई, रीथिंक टूरिज्म को लेके हो गई. तो मैं रिवर्स शुरू करता हूँ. I'll start from the last word, which is growth. तो growth की जब इस बात की गई, so what I basically was trying to decode it, how do we take it forward? So there is a concept, in market and in business management also we talk something called as the means end chain theory. So the end of any activity, अगर हम किसी भी activity की बात करें, चाहे tourism की बात करें, किसी की भी बात करें, and if we try to de-link this, the end goal that we are talking about is growth. Right? So that is what we call as the higher level goal that is desired through any activity. So if tourism is there, tourism has to grow. Ultimately, it should benefit the people for whom the tourism activity is actually. Otherwise, there is no purpose of that particular activity. Then the growth has to be sustainable growth, right? So I view this, the word here is sustainable. So I was trying to link whether it is sustainability or are we talking of a sustainable growth model, right? So both views, दोनों तरीकों से हम इसको देख सकते हैं. Sustainability की बात प्रोफेसर मनास की ब्यूटीफुली करी. यहाँ पे sustainable growth की बात करें, so if the tourism is growing, it has to grow at a constant pace and it should be sustainable. And how we do it? The word that has been included here is community induced. Wonderful word, community induced, which has been included. Now, how do we look at growth? अगर हम growth की बात करें तो growth को कैसे देखते हैं? आप लोगों ने बच्चों ने सब्जेक्ट पढ़ा होगा, इकोनॉमिक्स में पढ़ा होगा. Though I am not an economist, trained economist, but एक leading economist हुए Rostov, Whitman Rostov, उन्होंने बोला ग्रोथ कहीं की भी ग्रोथ की अगर हम बात करें तो 5 स्टेजेस में होती है. देयर आर 5 स्टेजेस ऑफ ग्रोथ. पहली स्टेज क्या है? ट्रेडिशनल सोसाइटी. देन देयर आर प्री कंडीशंस फॉर टेक ऑफ. देन देयर इज एन एक्चुअल टेक ऑफ. स्लोली ड्राइव्स ऑन टू मैच्योरिटी एंड देन देयर इज अ एज ऑफ हाई मास कंजम्पशन. राइट? इट्स एन ओल्ड थ्योरी बट इवन रेलेवेंट टुडे. आप लोगों ने अगर डेस्टिनेशंस के बारे में पढ़ा होगा तो एक कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ा होगा डेस्टिनेशन लाइफ साइकिल. जो मार्केटिंग के स्टूडेंट्स हैं उन्होंने कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ा होगा प्रोडक्ट लाइफ साइकिल. राइट? सो if we try to decode the tourism in the country per se, different areas are at different stage of life cycle. So let me not go into detail of that. That can be taken sometime later. But अगर growth की theories की बात करें, right, so there are 3 broad categories of theories. आप सोच रहे होगे थ्योरी की बात क्यों कर रहा हूं? थ्योरी की बात करना इसलिए इंपॉर्टेंट है बिकॉज आप उसको समझोगे तभी आप समझ पाओगे कि व्हाट इज एसेंशियल फॉर लॉन्ग टर्म सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ. सो एक सेट ऑफ थ्योरीज आती है क्लासिकल थ्योरीज. राइट? क्लासिकल थ्योरीज में बात की जाती है कैपिटल एक्यूमुलेशन की. द फोकस इज ऑन कैपिटल एक्यूमुलेशन. And everybody is trying to, we used to know about comparative advantage. जिसके पास comparative advantage होगा वो grow करेगा. और ऐसे ही economies भी grow करती. Then came the neoclassical growth theories. इसमें क्या बात करी? Apart from capital, पैसा तो आपको चाहिए, labor चाहिए, इसके अलावा technology used to play a very important role. And therefore क्या हुआ? बहुत सारी countries ने technology पे invest करना शुरू किया. और ये माना जाता था जिसके पास टेक्नोलॉजी होगी उसी को एडवांटेज होगा. राइट? बट नाउ अगर हम ग्रोथ की बात करें तो द वर्ल्ड इज नाउ लुकिंग एट फ्रॉम अ डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव. राइट? यू शुड गो एंड रीड अबाउट इट. 2018 में पॉल रोमर करके इकोनॉमिस्ट हुए जिनको नोबेल प्राइज भी मिला इस चीज को लेके. He proposed a theory almost around 25 years ago. बट उसकी रेलेवेंस अब आना समझ आना शुरू हुई. व्हाट इज इट? इट इज कॉल्ड एज द एंडोजीनस ग्रोथ थ्योरी. एंडोजीनस ग्रोथ थ्योरी. और ये थ्योरी क्या कहती है कि ग्रोथ एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स पे डिपेंड नहीं होती. राइट? आपके पर्सनल लाइफ में भी एप्लीकेबल है. आपकी ग्रोथ इस पे डिपेंड नहीं करती कि आगे पीछे क्या हो रहा है. आपकी ग्रोथ डिपेंड करेगी एंडोजीनस फैक्टर्स पे, which is the factors which are within. So same applies for tourism also, right? So what I was trying to think and I thought I will talk about it, कि for destinations to grow in the long run, ultimately the endogenous factor will play a very important role. और यहाँ पे endogenous factors क्या है? आपकी अपनी community, आपके अपने लोग. जब तक लोग आगे proactively आके काम नहीं करेंगे, so therefore Dr. Amit beautifully crafted topic community induced growth. और एंडोजेनस ग्रोथ थ्योरी क्या कहती है? ये कहती है कि 3 फैक्टर्स इंपॉर्टेंट है. कौन से? ह्यूमन कैपिटल, जिसके बारे में प्रोफेसर मनास ने भी बात करी. आपके tourism, as we all know, is a service driven industry. So human capital is very important. Second most important thing is innovation. आप सब बच्चे हैं, यंग हैं, फ्यूचर आपके इस कंट्री का आपके हाथ में है, और आपने भी सुना होगा बहुत सारी बात होती है इनोवेशन और स्टार्टअप्स को लेकर. That is very important. So this theory also says that growth will ultimately come जहां पे भी innovation होगी. And third significant factor which has been talked about is the knowledge. Right? तभी आपने कहीं ना कहीं कभी ना कभी सुना होगा, बात होती है knowledge driven economies की. So same चीजें applicable अगर आप tourism sector में लें तो it's very important. What will drive growth in tourism sector is innovation, which means something new has to be done. Who will do it? You will do it. Right? तो अगर इसमें हम बात करें तो आपका कैपिटल और लेबर आपकी कैपेसिटी को बढ़ाता है, बट अगर हम आइडियाज की बात करें तो वो आपकी कैपेबिलिटी को बढ़ाता है. तो इनोवेशन किस पे चाहिए? प्रोडक्ट की इनोवेशन चाहिए. तो रीथिंकिंग टूरिज्म की अगर हम बात करें तो रीथिंक किसके बारे में करना है? आपको नए प्रोडक्ट्स क्रिएट करने. यू हैव टू कम अप विद न्यू प्रोसेसेस. राइट? सिंपल फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप जोमेटो का एग्जांपल लें, सो व्हाट इज दैट इनोवेशन? इट्स अ न्यू प्रोसेस. आपके लिए घर पे सामान मंगवाना इजी हो गया. दैट्स अ प्रोसेस इनोवेशन. कुछ भी नहीं बनाते हो. What they have done is they have made doing a transaction much more easier. Right? If you talk of Uber, if you talk of Airbnb, all these platform-based models are what? Or for example, a young boy like you created Oyo rooms. Right? So this kind of mindset is required in the youth of today, that if you want to make a difference, come up with something new. And once these innovations are put in place, what will ultimately happen? Right? Your old products will start existing because we know the product life cycle has shrunken drastically. नए products आ जाते हैं, नई चीजें आ जाती हैं और पुरानी खत्म हो जाती हैं. Right? So that is where rethinking thought has to be done. So while I was trying to understand why this word induced came into picture, क्या कारण रहा होगा कि ये induced word को लेके आए? So Professor Bhau is here. He is a professor of botany. मुझे कभी botany पसंद नहीं आई. But I came across a model which is called as induced fit model. Right? I was trying to decode ये induced fit model है क्या. तो बच्चों के बेनिफिट के लिए मैं बताता हूँ. ये क्या कहता है कि जो एंजाइम जब अपने सबस्ट्रेट के साथ बाइंड करता है और जब उनकी फिजिकल इंटरेक्शन होती है, दोनों चेंज होते हैं. राइट? बोथ ऑफ देम चेंज एंड इट इंप्रूव्स द कैटालिसिस ऑफ द प्रोसेस. इसका मतलब टूरिज्म एंगल में कैसे लेंगे? अगर कोई एनवायरनमेंट में चेंज आ रहा है, कोई गवर्नमेंट नई पॉलिसी लेके आ रही, और अगर लोकल कम्युनिटी उसके साथ अडेप्ट नहीं करती, गवर्नमेंट उसके साथ अडेप्ट नहीं करती, चेंज नहीं आएगी. विच मीन्स एडेप्टेशन की बात प्रोफेसर मनास ने भी करी थी. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. राइट? तो कम्युनिटी जब तक वो इंड्यूस्ड फिट वाला कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं आएगा, ग्रोथ रियल सेंस में नहीं आएगी. So what my argument is that ultimately community is going to drive economic growth. Economic growth is important. Ultimately you people are going to drive economic growth जहां से भी आप आते हैं. And therefore the concept of endogenous tourism is the way forward. सारी साहब will agree with me. Government of India लेके आई थी एक बार UNDP के साथ endogenous rural tourism project. I think सर आपके टाइम पे था, ये उसी पीरियड में था. और उस टाइम पे गवर्नमेंट जब ये लेके आई तो उन्होंने बोला था कि हर एक टूरिज्म में दो कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं. वन इज द हार्डवेयर पार्ट एंड वन इज द सॉफ्टवेयर पार्ट. हार्डवेयर पार्ट बन जाता है, होटल्स बन जाएंगे, रोड्स बन जाएंगी, फिजिकल स्ट्रक्चर बन जाएगा. बट व्हाट अबाउट द सॉफ्टवेयर पार्ट? या इसको हम सॉफ्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी बोलते हैं. हार्ड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वर्सेस सॉफ्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. राइट? सो व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट इज कम्युनिटी सेंसिटाइजेशन, कम्युनिटी ट्रेनिंग. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Right? Capacity building, skill upgradation. In fact, अनुराधा मैडम पहले डायरेक्टर स्कूल एजुकेशन रही. अगर वो होते तो मैं उनको एक कंधे जरूर करता. उनके टाइम पे एक इनिशिएटिव हुआ और जिसको मैं भी मानता हूं कि हर एक स्कूल लेवल पे आई थिंक टूरिज्म एजुकेशन शुड बी मेड मैंडेटरी. विदाउट दैट कम्युनिटीज कैन नॉट, आप मास्टर्स लेवल पे आके टूरिज्म पढ़ रहे हैं, कई लोगों ने हो सकता है बैचलर्स लेवल पे पढ़ा हो, बट जरूरी नहीं है कि सारे लोग मास्टर्स करेंगे उस फील्ड में या सारे लोग जो है अंडरग्रेड डिग्री प्रोग्राम करेंगे उसको. And in fact, I've been talking to people all around. In Jammu and Kashmir, government has thought 75 destinations are to be built. So I request Sari sir also and all other people also to push this idea कि ये जितने 75 destination हैं, इनके आगे पीछे जितने भी neighboring schools हैं, उसमें 11th और 12th में tourism compulsory कर देना. Because then only, you know, Himachal, I think Dr. Walia will agree, Himachal that way is much more aggressive. और इंद्रपुरी लद्दाख से आया तो वहाँ हर बच्चा टूरिज्म सोचता है, हर बच्चा टूरिज्म के बारे में फील करता है, सोचता है. ऑन दी कॉन्ट्ररी अगर हम अपने इलाके में देखें तो यहाँ पे नहीं है, और ऐसे ही बहुत सारे एरियाज पे नहीं होगा. राइट, सो this is, you know, I know that I only have 15 minutes, so I'll just try to wind up. So what is important is that there is a need to, you know, come up with new innovative ideas. एक्सपीरियंशियल या इमर्सिव टूरिज्म की बात हर कोई करता है. आजकल लोग जाके खुद एक्सपीरियंस करना चाहते हैं. प्रोफेसर जया वसीम ने बात करी थी इंडिजिनस टूरिज्म के बारे में, सो आई एंडोर्स अ व्यू जहाँ पे लोकल लाइफस्टाइल कैसे, अगर आप गुजरात में है तो गुजराती कैसे खाना बनाते हैं, आपके इंटरनेशनल टूरिस्ट इधर आ रहे हैं, दे वांट टू लर्न कि आप राजमा कैसे बनाते हैं, या फॉर एग्जांपल हिमाचल में चले जाए तो शादी में धाम अगर होती है तो कैसे होती है, आई वांट टू एक्सपीरियंस इट, और मैं उसके लिए पैसे देने को तैयार हूँ. आप टूरिज्म के स्टूडेंट्स क्या उनसे पैसे लेने को तैयार हो कि नहीं हो, ये आपको सोचना. राइट, दिस इज द वे फॉरवर्ड. अगर विद इन कम्युनिटी टूरिज्म चलेगा तो आई एम श्योर इट इज गोइंग टू बी मोर सस्टेनेबल. Smaller destinations can have more advantage in this. जहाँ पे hard infrastructure नहीं है, वहाँ पे soft infrastructure का potential, वहाँ पे software का potential है. सबसे important जो बच्चे अलग अलग जगहों से आ रहे हैं और उनमें काफी लोग villages या small towns से आ रहे होंगे. हमारे इंडिया की ब्यूटी क्या है? Authenticity. And I feel that somewhere, you know, our villages are no more looking like villages. They have started looking like towns or urban cities. बट एक सवाल ये आएगा कि क्या उनका राइट नहीं है अर्बन होने का? दे आल्सो हैव अ राइट टू बिकम अर्बन. व्हाई शुड दे नॉट हैव द बेस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स? सो व्हाट आई फील हियर इज वी विल हैव टू मोनेटाइज दिस. राइट, इफ यू स्टार्ट मोनेटाइजिंग द प्रिजर्वेशन ऑफ हेरिटेज एंड कल्चर, इट ऑटोमेटिकली गिव्स एडवांटेज. आज शिल्पकारी बाजार का अगर आप देखेंगे या बसोली आर्ट का देखेंगे, ये बेसिकली उसी आर्ट फॉर्म को मोनेटाइज करते हैं. आज अगर आर्टिस्ट को पैसा मिल रहा है तो वो क्यों नहीं प्रिजर्व करेगा? वो सीखेंगे भी, बच्चे स्पेशली सीखेंगे, उनको पता है दिस कैन बी अ सोर्स ऑफ लाइवलीहुड. राइट, सो दैट इज व्हाट इज टू बी डन. आई विल टेक कपल ऑफ मोर मिनट्स एंड देन वाइड. Then new concepts like I think young students should learn more about the concepts like sharing economy, collaborative economy, कैसे Uber चलता है, कैसे Airbnb चलता है, concepts like couch surfing कैसे चलते हैं. Right, so these new ideas have the capacity to, you know, capture the entire world. That is where you have to think. And finally, you know, as the Honorable Vice Chancellor was talking about the potential of technology, right? He mentioned कि YouTube किस तरीके से आप YouTube पे बैठ के किसी भी जगह को experience कर सकते हैं जाने से पहले. So there is something new called, I am sure youngsters को पता होगा concept like metaverse. राइट, मेटावर्स में आप जाके अगर आपने पेरिस घूमना है, इधर बैठ के आप पेरिस घूम के आ सकते. एंड इन अ बिग वे, यू नो, दिस न्यू टेक्नोलॉजीज आर कमिंग अप. सो देयर इज इमेंस पोटेंशियल फॉर यंगस्टर्स टू, यू नो, क्रिएट स्टार्टअप्स. एंड दिस इज वेयर आई विल, यू नो, ट्राई टू एंड माय टॉक. 15-20 मिनट ही थे. सो स्टार्टअप्स के बारे में सोचिए. दिस यूनिवर्सिटी दैट वे, यू नो, इज वेरी फोर्थकमिंग. आपके पास कैपिटल की कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. आज के जमाने में जो बच्चा है उसके पास कैपिटल की कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. लेबर एटीएम में हमें मिल जाती है ना, हमें सस्ती लेबर भी मिल जाती है, हमें महंगे लोग भी मिल जाते हैं. देयर आर सो मेनी, पॉपुलेशन इज आवर एडवांटेज. वेयर इज द प्रॉब्लम? द प्रॉब्लम इज इन क्रिएटिंग आइडियाज. एंड the students, those who come and create ideas, will create good enterprises which will have global impact. Right, so with these words, I think I have been able to convey the message which I wanted to convey. The future is in your hands. आप लोगों के हाथ में टूरिज्म को नए तरीके से सोचने का, और ये जरूरत भी है. अभी गंगोटिया सर से, सारी साहब से भी बात हो रही थी कि वो जो पुराने कॉन्सेप्ट्स थे उनको छोड़ना पड़ेगा. नए जमाने में नई बातें करनी पड़ेंगी, नए तरीके ढूंढने पड़ेंगे। हमारे जैसे लोग अब काम नहीं आएंगे जिनके बाल सफेद हो गए, राइट? आप लोगों के हाथ में ही फ्यूचर है। सो आई रियली होप दैट some of you would really, take away the points and think about it. And in case if any one of you want more inputs, I'll be happy to share that. So with these words, I want to thank Dr. Amit Kagodia, Professor Jaya Basi, and the entire team of Central University of Jammu and Rahul, Ranjit, Dr. Bharti, Fancy, who is, has the advantage of being a student of this university as the last student. Sachiv है, Sachiv के पास the reverse advantage है. So he was our student, now he's a scholar here. Anju, I can see, Naresh was here, Riya is there, right? So all Manjeet was our student, Inderpuri, Sandeep, who is a young brother, and he's one of the very, very forthcoming, young researchers. He's a researcher administrator, I would say. जो skill Sandeep के पास है, वो I think unique skill है. So he's a good researcher. And I see Baljeet, right? So thank you, Baljeet. I know एक बार बात हुई थी. So thank you so much. We would be listening to these speakers with some really good thoughts. So thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity.
इतने सारे बच्चे, जोर से तालियां बजनी चाहिए सर के लिए।
Big round of applause. तालियां बजती रहनी चाहिए भी। Because देखिए एक बात बड़ी क्लियर है, जिंदगी में आपको जो सानिध्य है बड़े लोगों का, और स्पेशली जो ज्ञानी लोग होते हैं उनका सानिध्य प्राप्त करना जनरली बहुत मुश्किल होता है। And we are having amongst us Professor Anil Gupta ji. As I have told you, he's one of very, very profound researchers, and on top of it, a very, very humble and very, very good human being. So, Anil sir, thank you. Thank you so very much for coming up over here and raising the bar of this international conference. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Prikshit sir, Anil sir, and SM Sani sir, Babu sir, and Sandeep sir to please take the seat on the stage because our chief guest is arriving very soon. So, proceeding further, now I would like to request our special guest, Mr. SM Sani sir, to enlighten us with the word of wisdom.
Namaskar. Anil sir on the dais, Dr. Amit, all the faculty members, Bharti ji, my life member in Intech, colleague, all the faculty members, students, guests, chief guests, and the faculty members and speakers from abroad and from inside this conference room. I will not give much a lecture, but I will share my few views with you, my practical experiences with you, and request you to think what is number one, the tourism, sustainable, something बताया, community based tourism. I'll give you a few examples also, and that I'll leave it to you. Since you are MBA TTM students, you have to do lot of homework, you have to do lot of work from your classroom also, and leave your computers, leave your content-based things, and do the practical work. Whatever I'll be speaking, that will be 101% practical experience. I never open the book. मेरा टाइम वो निकल चुका है, स्कूल कॉलेज यूनिवर्सिटी के टाइम। इनोवेशंस के लिए, बुक स्टडीज के लिए एकेडमिशियंस बैठे हैं। मैं तो मुकाबला कर नहीं पाऊंगा इस एज में वाइस चांसलर और सीनियर प्रोफेसर्स का, जितना मर्जी स्टडी करके आओ, कट पेस्ट में आप सबसे एक्सपर्ट है, तो वो भी नहीं मैं कर पाऊंगा। तो आई विल गिव यू फ्यू, आई स्टार्ट विद द बैकग्राउंड ऑफ जम्मू टूरिज्म। जम्मू टूरिज्म किस पे बेस्ड है, आप कोई बता सकता है मुझे? एग्जैक्टली, तो पिलग्रिम टूरिज्म बिल्कुल ठीक कहा इन्होंने। स्पिरिचुअल टूरिज्म है, पिलग्रिम टूरिज्म को, रिलीजियस टूरिज्म को, कुछ भी कहो, वो आपके यात्री जो है, जिसको वर्ड हिंदी में यात्री बोलते हो, वो आपका टूरिस्ट है। टूरिस्ट की डेफिनेशन अलग है, और जम्मू में कितने टाइप के टूरिस्ट हैं वो सबको पता होगा। फिर भी आपकी याददाश्त के लिए मैं जो कोई अगर कोई मिस करता होगा किसी को, उसके लिए बता देता हूँ। सबसे पहले पिलग्रिम टूरिज्म में माता वैष्णो देवी जी की कृपा है, और मेरा ये सौभाग्य है कि मैं सबसे पहला एक डिप्टी चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर था। मेरे ऊपर चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर, उसके ऊपर द गवर्नर ऑफ द स्टेट एज चेयरमैन श्राइन बोर्ड। ये भी मेरा सौभाग्य है कि उस टीम के साथ मेरे चेयरमैन ने, कि उस समय के ऑनरेबल गवर्नर साहब ने ये मुझे हिदायत दी होती थी कि यू प्रिज्यूम दैट यू हैव ए ब्लैंक चेक इन योर पॉकेट, यू डू वट एवर यू वांट। एक स्टेज ये भी मैंने देखी जब 50,000 पिलग्रिम्स कटरा में थे 88 में, और ऊपर जाने की परमिशन सिर्फ 6,000 को थी। तो गोया आपके 7 दिन के बाद दर्शन के आ रहे थे। कटरा में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इतना नहीं था, यू कैन इमेजिन। तो ये जो रीथिंकिंग में जो आ रहा है, मैं सीधा वहां से आऊंगा कि जम्मू में इन्फ्लक्स कितना है। 1 करोड़ यात्री वहां ले रहे हैं। 1 करोड़ 5 लाख यात्री मैक्सिमम 12-13 में आए। आज 90 लाख के करीब है। कुछ परसेंटेज छोड़ दो जो रेल से डायरेक्ट जाती है, बाकी जम्मू में इन्फ्लक्स है। इसके अलावा मैं दूसरा लूंगा जम्मू में लेयर टूरिज्म, जो कि पेरिफेरल है, और बिजनेस टूरिज्म, बिजनेस के लिए जो आते हैं, रात को रुकते हैं। आप सबको पता होगा, जो भी 24 घंटे कहीं रहे तो उसकी टूरिस्ट की डेफिनेशन में आता है। इसके अलावा एजुकेशन टूरिज्म, मेरे पास ये जो आपके इंटर्न्स आते हैं, तो लास्ट ईयर एक लड़की थी केरला से आई हुई थी, आई प्रिज्यूम उसके पेरेंट्स भी आए होंगे। इसके अलावा मैक्सिमम जो आपकी यहाँ आर्मी और आर्म फोर्सेज है यहाँ, वो और उनकी फैमिलीज, मुझे तो नंबर पता नहीं, यू आर द बेस्ट जज टू कैलकुलेट, इनका नंबर उनकी फैमिलीज का भी इन लैक्स है। दैट मीन्स आफ्टर वैष्णो देवी जी, आर्म फोर्सेस की जो यहाँ JNK में डिप्लॉयड हैं, इंक्लूड आर्मी सेपरेट, आर्म फोर्सेस सेपरेट, आर्म फोर्सेस BSF, CRPF, ITBP और आपकी अपनी आर्म पुलिस, ये सारा मिला के उनकी जो जिसकी पोस्टिंग यहाँ होगी उसकी फैमिली भी आएगी, उसके रिलेटिव्स भी आएंगे। वो आपको मिलने नहीं आएंगे तो वैष्णो देवी जी के दर्शन करने आएंगे। तो ये इन्फ्लक्स जो टूरिस्ट का है। उसके अलावा ये जो HR हब बोल दिया मैंने, जो आपकी इंडस्ट्रियल कॉम्प्लेक्स है, दूसरे हैं उनके इंजीनियर्स, उनके एग्जीक्यूटिव, चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव, बिजनेसमैन, ये जितने मिलाओगे, मेडिकल टूरिज्म, इंटर डिस्ट्रिक्ट, इंटर स्टेट, जो नेबरिंग स्टेट से यहाँ इलाज कराने आते हैं, उनकी फैमिलीज आती हैं, उनके रिलेटिव्स आते हैं, होटल्स में ठहरते हैं, खाते पीते बाहर हैं, मेडिसिन बाहर से लेते हैं, मंदिरों में दर्शन करने जाते हैं। और जम्मू को मंदिरों का शहर कहा जाता है, अगेन रिलीजियस टूरिज्म। अब मैं आता हूँ सीधा, आपको एक सोचने के लिए दे दिया कितना इन्फ्लक्स है, क्या है, कैसे शुरुआत है वैष्णो देवी की। अगेन कहूंगा कृपया, मैं यहाँ जहाँ पे खड़ा हूँ, इसके रेडियस 30 किलोमीटर के रेडियस में मैं समझता हूँ कि ये सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी भी एज जम्मू एड मेरे लिए टूरिज्म हब है। क्योंकि रीथिंकिंग है ना, तो टूरिज्म हब है। तो 30 किलोमीटर ले लो रेडियस, इसमें मुझे कोई बताएगा आप में से कौन कौन सी टूरिस्ट डेस्टिनेशंस हैं? ये है ना आपकी रीथिंकिंग है ना। तो रीथिंकिंग में आप 30 किलोमीटर ले लो, 25 किलोमीटर ले लो। कोई खड़े हो जाओ बच्चे, आपने बिल्कुल ठीक जवाब दिया था। आप में से कोई बोलो जी, खड़े होके बोल दो। बड़ी दूर पहुंच गए वो आप 40 किलोमीटर पहुंच गए। पहले 5 किलोमीटर लो, कौन सी है? बाबेवाल माता दूर हो, यही हाँ, आपका क्रो फ्लाई डिस्टेंस है परमंडल उत्तर पैनी 1-1.5 किलोमीटर, मे बी 1 किलोमीटर 1.25 किलोमीटर से ज्यादा नहीं है। बाई रोड जाएंगे तो क्रो फ्लाई जिसका 1-1.5 है, बाई रोड 4 किलोमीटर हो जाएगा। अगर बनेंगे स्ट्रेट रोड तो 3 किलोमीटर हो जाएगा। सो यू हैव ए छोटा काशी हियर। ये जो मैं बार बार रीथिंकिंग को बोल रहा हूँ, रीथिंक आपने करना है। हम अपने टाइम फेलियर रहे हैं इसको डेवलप करने के लिए। इतनी बड़ी विरासत, इतना बड़ा टूरिज्म पोटेंशियल, और यहाँ पे बिल्डिंगें गिर रही हैं, हम एक्सप्लॉइट नहीं कर पा सके। मैं अपना फेलियर अभी मानता हूँ। मैं डायरेक्टर टूरिज्म रहा हूँ, इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ बार बार। आपका सोचने का जरिया है, कैसे आपने सोचना है और रीथिंकिंग में उसको लाना है। नंबर 1 परमंडल उत्तरबैनी। परमंडल उत्तरबैनी जो है, अगर यहाँ से सबसे पहले पिलग्रिम डेस्टिनेशन है, ये नहीं कि अभी नहीं जाते, अभी भी लाखों 4-5 लाख लोग जाते हैं वहां भी साल के, मगर पोटेंशियल है। नेक्स्ट कौन सा है? नेक्स्ट बोलो कोई। इंटरनेशनल बॉर्डर भी है आपके, वहां भी आपका पिलग्रिम टूरिज्म है, रिलीजियस टूरिज्म है। कौन सा है? चित्तौड़गढ़ गया दूर, आपके रामगढ़ के आगे बोलो कहाँ आपके मेला लगता है? चमलियाल। तो इंटरनेशनल मैंने इशारा दिया, वहां से 25 लाख 30 लाख हजार लोग एक पर्टिकुलर डे जून में जब चंबलियाल मेला होता है वहां आते हैं। इस साइड के अगर 30 है, वहां के 35 आते हैं। तो एक दिन में 50,000 लोग वहां भी आते हैं, तो साल भर में वहां भी आते हैं, यहाँ भी जाते हैं। अभी भी आप जाएंगे रिस्ट्रिक्शंस के बावजूद, वहां 2-4-500 लोग हर दिन जाते ही जाते हैं। स्किन डिजीजेस के लिए वहां जाते हैं। दैट कैन बी एक्सप्लॉइटेड एज वन ऑफ द टूरिज्म प्रोडक्ट्स। आपने कभी कोई गए होंगे तो देखा होगा स्किन डिजीज की, जो जिसको शक्कर कहते हैं, मड थेरेपी जो होती है वहां होती है। दैट कैन बी एक्सप्लॉइटेड मेडिकल टूरिज्म। तो ये हो गया। बाबा रामदेव ने कहाँ का कहाँ पहुंचा दिया, हर बेस्ट आयुर्वेदा को। उसके बाद नेक्स्ट कौन सा है? नहीं, राइट लेफ्ट कुछ और बोल दो। स्वांखा मोड़ है आपका। जम्मू साइड से जाते हो तो आप टच करते हो सैनिक कॉलोनी और उसको जम्मू सिटी है। इस साइड पे सांबा है, सांबा में चीची माता रोड है और इस पेरीफेरी में हेरिटेज टेम्पल भी है। गोया आपका एजुकेशनल हब, और जब एम्स बनी तो मेडिकल हब। यहाँ रीथिंकिंग की जरूरत है आप लोगों की। मेरी एज के मुताबिक आई एम द सीनियर मोस्ट राइट नाउ आई थिंक इन दिस कैंपस एज फार एज एज इज कंसर्न। पोजीशन वाइज मेरे से वाइस चांसलर सीनियर है, डीसी मैडम आएंगी। इनके लेवल पे मैं भी रिटायर हुआ, 10 साल पहले हुआ। इसलिए 3 जनरेशन को मैं इस हाल में देख रहा हूँ। अपनी जनरेशन, जो बच्चे मेरे सामने पढ़े हैं वो पढ़ा रहे हैं, और आप आगे उसकी 3 जनरेशन को मैं देख रहा हूँ। और आप लोगों को इसलिए बार बार बोल रहा हूँ, ग्राउंड के साथ जुड़ना कट पे छोड़ दो। नॉलेज नहीं देगी, पास करवा देगी, डिग्री दे देगी। मेरे पास आपके इंटर्न्स आते हैं, भेजे जाते हैं। मैं प्राउडली ये आपको, आपकी ऑनर है, मेरी ऑनर बाद में, पहले आपके डिपार्टमेंट की ऑनर है। ये एक लड़का मेरे पास आया था, अभिमन्यु जसरोटिया। एम आई राइट सर? अभिमन्यु जसरोटिया इज हिज नेम। यस सर। उनको मैंने परमंडल का दिया था कि यू टेक, किसी एरिया में रहते हैं जसरोटिया, तो इसी मगर जसरोटिया कठुआ डिस्ट्रिक्ट के हैं। वो शायद पूरा साथिया के आसपास या भटोड़ी के आसपास चले गया। इंडिया आए थे दिल्ली में, जब एग्जीबिशन ने वायरल पूरे इंटरनेशनल लेवल। क्रेडिट किसको जाता है? टीटीएम को, एमबीए को, जया मैम को, अमित जी को, भारती मैम और इनके पुलिस जितने बैठे हैं उनको जाता है, जिन्होंने मेरे पास भेजा। मेहनत बच्चे ने की। अब इसके कंपैरिजन में बहुत आते हैं, मैं पहले ही पूछ लेता हूँ बच्चों, कट पेस करनी है तो मेरे पास नहीं आना, काम करना है ग्राउंड पे आ जाओ। आते हैं होल्ड हार्टेडली नहीं आते। इसलिए मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, जहाँ काम करो होल्ड हार्टेडली करो। और वो बच्चा आज गुड़गांव में किसी इन्हीं, देखो इंटरव्यू में क्या होता है, क्या काम किया है, क्या कहाँ नौकरी की है, कहाँ इंटर्नशिप की है, ये सारी चीजें देखी जाती हैं, फिर सिलेक्शन हो जाती है। गोया आपने इसको जहाँ आप बैठे हो, इसका कोई भी रेडियस लेके देखो कि यहाँ टूरिज्म पोटेंशियल है कि नहीं है। अगर है तो रीथिंकिंग की जरूरत है। कम्युनिटी क्राफ्ट पे आ जाओ। ये चीज है ना, रखो जी, ये चीज कितने बंदों ने पहले देखी? आप में से कितने लोगों ने पहले देखी? आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द कम्युनिटी इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ जम्मू रीजन। मैंने फर्स्ट टाइम देखी, ऐसे मैंने देखी। मेरे घर में मैट्स यूज हो रही हैं, मैं कैलकुलेट करता रहता हूँ कि 80-85 साल पुरानी मैट्स जो अंदर थी वो भी निकल गई, वो निकाल के आप यूज कर रहे हैं पिछले 10 साल से। किसी टाइम 10 साल अंदर भी रही बॉक्सेस में, स्टोर रूम में। जितने सैंपल थे निकाल के इनको कम्युनिटी को दे रहा हूँ। दैट इज रिवाइवल ऑफ योर कल्चर, दैट इज इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ योर कम्युनिटी। ओल्ड वैष्णो देवी रूट पे मैं काम कर रहा हूँ पिछले 5 साल से। व्हाट इज ओल्ड वैष्णो देवी रूट? सियालकोट से पैदल आते थे, सॉरी ट्रेन पे आते थे, आगे सारी यात्रा पैदल थी। जो गुजरांवाला या ऑस्ट्रेलिया पंजाब, ये पाकिस्तान से ऑस्ट्रेलिया पंजाब जो अनडिवाइडेड इंडिया का था, वहां से जो आते थे लोग, कुछ जोरी अखनूर, ये उनका रास्ता था, रूट था। और देवा माई जी अगर नाम सुना होगा तो देवा माई जी कटरा से पहले 4 किलोमीटर पहले लेफ्ट साइड पे माउंट के ऊपर है, पहाड़ी के ऊपर है। 3 किलोमीटर ऊपर जाना आपको एक रोड है। इसके इस तरफ जो है वो रोड नहीं, क्या बन गई है, मेटल रोड, इस साल खुल जाएगी। उसके देवमाई जी के इस तरफ जम्मू की तरफ देखो तो होली टेम्पल है, जिसको अभी हमने रिस्टोर कराया, इंटेक में करवाया। कोविड का सब जिक्र कर रहे थे तो मेरे ख्याल में उसी समय बैठे बैठे आया कोविड का फायदा। इंटेक हेडक्वार्टर्स में कोविड की वजह से जो पैसा बचा, जो प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट्स होते थे सब ऑनलाइन हुए 2 साल। जो पैसे की सेविंग थी, इन्होंने कहा पैशन प्रोजेक्ट में क्या होना चाहिए। हमने कहा जी मेरे ये करमंडल उत्तरवैली में सराय है नहीं है, वहाँ ओली टेम्पल है। मैंने फोटोज भेज दी, प्रोजेक्ट प्रपोजल भेज दिए कि ये रिस्टोर करा दो। ओली टेम्पल आज रिस्टोर हुआ है, 7 मार्च को शुरू हुआ, दिवाली से 2 दिन पहले कंप्लीट हुआ। मगर सीमेंट चूना, सीमेंट के और व्हाइट वाश शेडिंग हुआ ओरिजिनल टेक्निक से, चूना सुर्खी की टेक्निक से। कंजर्वेशन इंजीनियर, आर्किटेक्ट और कंजर्वेशन के जो स्किल्ड वर्कर्स थे सब बाहर से आए थे, कोई यूपी से, कोई राजस्थान से। और उन्होंने 7 मार्च से लेके दिवाली से 2 दिन पहले हो गए, ऑलमोस्ट 7 महीने वो लगे एक छोटे से मंदिर को डेवलप करने के लिए। वहाँ लक्ष्मी जी का मंदिर है और उसके बाद रोड बन गई है, 6 किलोमीटर zigzag रोड ऊपर चढ़ाई है और दूसरी तरफ कट रहा है। अल्टरनेट रोड इस पर खुल जाएगी। जो बाकी डेस्टिनेशन है जहाँ यात्री पैदल जाते थे, कोलकटोली में गरोटा के बाद अपोजिट अक्रॉस द रोड चकती, जहाँ टाउनशिप है माइग्रेंट्स की, वहाँ जगदम्बा टेम्पल था। उसके बाद नेक्स्ट जहाँ IIM के बाद रोड गई कुम्बियाल, वहां पे बंगाली, द्राबी, ममियाल और ये जहाँ होली टेम्पल है, ये लड़की जो बात लगा के बैठी है, ये उसी में उस पे भी आ रहा हूँ कम्युनिटी के इन्वॉल्वमेंट पे। वहां पे चपानू करके जगह, वो डिस्ट्रिक्ट रियासी में पड़ता है। जो उधर से पैदल आते थे होली टेम्पल आते थे, जो इधर से जाते थे होली टेम्पल वादी, वन प्लेस। और ये सब डेस्टिनेशन थे। जो ग्रुप्स में आते थे, जो बच्चे बातें करनी है तो बाहर, डोंट वेस्ट माय टाइम लाइक दिस, बी अटेंटिव। आप फ्यूचर हो, जम्मू का फ्यूचर आप और टूरिज्म मैनेजमेंट आप कर रहे हो, मैंने नहीं की। मैं जम्मू यूनिवर्सिटी में तब एमबीए नहीं होता था, उससे पहले होता था स्कूल ऑफ डिप्लोमा इन ऑफिस मैनेजमेंट एंड सेक्रेटेरियल प्रैक्टिस, उसके बाद एमबीए बना या स्कूल ऑफ हॉस्पिटैलिटी टूरिज्म मैनेजमेंट बना। इसलिए ये आपकी ये चीजें किसी ने नहीं बतानी आपको, जितने मर्जी एक्सपर्ट ले आओ। ये ग्राउंड रियलिटीज है। जहां जम्मू में आज 1 करोड़ यात्री है, पहले यात्री जो आते थे ग्रुप्स में आते थे, जहां जहां उनके रात का दिन का रुकने का था, उन्होंने वहां सराय भी बनाई, मंदिर भी बनाए। आपके स्टूडेंट्स गए थे मेरे साथ वर्ल्ड टूरिज्म डे के साथ, और वहां पे स्टेप वेल बनाए, चैम्बर स्टेप वेल देखे 1860 के, जो फिल्ट्रेशन आप ये फिल्टर वाटर पीते हो, वाटर पीते हो, 1860 में बंगाली टेम्पल में जो स्टेप वेल बने उसमें चैम्बर है, दैट मीन्स वाटर फिल्ट्रेशन होके आपको मिलता था पीने के लिए। किन्होंने बनाया? यात्रियों ने, गवर्नमेंट ने नहीं बनाया। शेड बनाए रहने के लिए, वर्शिप के लिए टेम्पल बनाए, एंड रूट ये टेम्पल है। अब मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूँ, ये टूरिज्म प्रोडक्ट होने वाले हैं, अभी तक हुए नहीं। रीथिंकिंग है ना, तो रीथिंकिंग में हमने इनिशिएटिव लिया, इंटेक की टीम ने, और अब कम्युनिटी इन्वॉल्वमेंट साथ शुरू कर दी। कम्युनिटी इन्वॉल्वमेंट में उस 25 किलोमीटर रूट पे जितने गांव पड़ते हैं राइट लेफ्ट, सबको इन्वॉल्व किया। सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप बन रहे हैं, प्रोडक्ट आपके साथ बाहर लगे हैं। ये जितना ही आप देख रहे हो, व्हाट इज दिस, क्या है ये? स्ट्रा क्राफ्ट, बैम्बू क्राफ्ट भी है, स्ट्रा क्राफ्ट भी है। अब हमने जो ये डूने शूने लगाए हैं ना, जो सस्टेनेबल, जो सामने बताया, एथनिक फूड अचार बने हैं। अभी मैंने हफ्ता पहले अचारों की वर्कशॉप कराई, फूड की करवा रहे हैं। सस्टेनेबल पे आगे, कम्युनिटी इन्वॉल्वमेंट पे आगे, वहां का जो प्रोडक्ट है उसी को बेचो, मगर यात्रियों को लूटना नहीं, ये साथ साथ में बोल देता हूँ। तो वहां पे जो सस्टेनेबल वही है जो आप घर में बनाते हो, जो आपके खेत में है, जो आपके पेड़ पौधे पे है। अचार अजीब लगता है आपको, लेडीज ने नहीं सिखाया, जिनको नहीं आता तो उनको सिखाया, स्कूल के बच्चों को बुला के। 40 लोगों को, 20 का टारगेट था, 40 लोग उधर आए बमियाल में, 40 लोगों को सिखाया। जम्मू के सेक्रेट फ्लावर जो चढ़े हुए फूल है, उनसे जून जुलाई में वर्कशॉप लगवाई, साइंटिस्ट लखनऊ से आए, सेक्रेट फ्लावर से अगरबत्ती बनानी सिखाई। वहां पे पनीर, बर्फी, ये मिल्क प्रोडक्ट्स काफी होते हैं। उस रूट से पूरा एक ट्रक लोड, ट्रक छोटा मिनी ट्रक, डेली पनीर का कटरा पहुंचता है। तो पनीर वहां है, खोया वहां है। प्रथा चला दी, फर्स्ट नवरात्रा को इनागुरेट करा दिया, डीसी रियासी से खुद गया मैं कराने। एक डूने में प्रसाद, फूल और डूना भी पत्थर वहां का है, जो बनाएगा उसकी कमाई, जो बेचेगा उसकी कमाई। बर्फी मिल्क प्रोडक्ट है, उसकी कमाई। गाय का घी पूजा के काम आता है, दूध। ये आपने एक जातिवाद रूट देखो, एक पूजा हेम्पर बनाया, उसमें सब कुछ है, यात्री घर भी ले जाएंगे, उन मंदिरों में भी यही करेंगे, वो सस्टेनेबल में आ गया। फूड जो लोग खाते हैं, मक्की की रोटी खाते हैं, दाल खाते हैं, अम्बल खाते हैं, जो सब वेजिटेबल वहां होती है, जिस सीजन में होती है, वही यात्रियों को सर्व करना जो आप खाते हो। अचारों का जो सीजन है, उस सीजन के हिसाब से किया। इस समय आंवला का सीजन है, नींबू वहां है इस समय, और गिलगिल है, एक पेड़ करके, पेड़ के लिए स्थिति आयुर्वेदिक है, उसका है। हमने खुद सुना एलोवेरा का अचार, रामदेव जी का। मैंने पूछा ये रामदेव जी से कहा, उन्होंने कहा नहीं मेरी दादी डालती थी। तो एलोवेरा होता है, एलोवेरा। तो ये जिस सीजन में जो है, एथनिक फूड, होममेड अचार, ये चीजें कम्युनिटी इन्वॉल्वमेंट, सस्टेनेबल टूरिज्म के लिए उनको हम एज ए वॉलंटियर एडवाइस कर रहे हैं, सिखा रहे हैं, ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे हैं। आपके ग्रुप्स को लेके जाके उनको, मैं कहने लगा था ब्रेन वॉश कर रहे हैं, मतलब समझा रहे हैं, ब्रीफिंग कर रहे हैं, ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम आप लोगों के माध्यम से करवा रहे हैं। तो माय टाइम इज ओवर सर, आप बताओ जी, माय टाइम इज ओवर। तो मेरा कहना, मैंने आपको सिर्फ ग्राउंड के साथ जोड़ने के टिप्स देने थे, वो दे दिए। थिंक बिग, अभी कल परसों जम्मू म्यूनिसिपल कारपोरेशन ने बुलाया था माई टाउन माई प्राइड, माई सिटी माई प्राइड, हेरिटेज वॉक रघुनाथ मंदिर की। हाथ खड़े करो कितने लोगों ने फुल रघुनाथ मंदिर की देखा है? पूरा रघुनाथ मंदिर जी। आप फैकल्टी हो, बच्चों को बोलने दो जी। 5 लोग 6 लोग बसों 100 लोग में यही रेशो थी। SITM के बच्चे थे और 2-3 और इंस्टीट्यूशंस के थे। 100 में से 95 ने देखा ही नहीं था रघुनाथ मंदिर पूरा। और रघुनाथ मंदिर जो है ये सबसे बड़ा जम्मू टूरिज्म का जो डेस्टिनेशन विद इन जम्मू सिटी है, रघुनाथ मंदिर है। पूरे नॉर्थ इंडिया का बिगेस्ट टेम्पल है, पूरे नॉर्थ इंडिया का बिगेस्ट टेम्पल है। जो देवी देवते, जो मूर्तियां वहां जिस मेटल की हैं, कितने शिखर हैं, ये कहने को तो कहते हैं 33 करोड़ देवी देवते वास करते हैं। बट फ्रॉम योर एंगल फॉर टेलिंग द टूरिज्म पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, और सबसे ज्यादा टूरिस्ट वहां जाते हैं, पहले भी आज भी। जो पिलग्रिम्स वैष्णो देवी से आते हैं या टूरिस्ट आपके घर में भी कोई रिश्तेदार आता है, कहाँ जाना जी, यहाँ देखने वाला रघुनाथ मंदिर है। वही म्युनिसिपल कारपोरेशन को बताया स्मार्ट सिटी में इधर उधर इसको थोड़ा ब्यूटीफाई कीजिए, जो योगदान दे सकते हो। अंदर सफाई, बाहर की सफाई, जम्मू के मंदिरों की सफाई, जम्मू के मंदिरों की जो पूरी की सिटी ऑफ टेम्पल्स जो कहते हैं, उसकी देख रेख के लिए कंजर्वेशन, रेस्टोरेशन और प्रिजर्वेशन के लिए एफर्ट्स कीजिए स्मार्ट सिटी में। और इसमें उसके कड़ी में एक मीटिंग कल हुई। अब वो आज बोल रहे थे, मैंने इधर आना था। कल हेरिटेज वॉक बच्चों की लेके जा रहे हैं, 100 के करीब बच्चों की, और सारे म्यूनिसिपैलिटी के सब ऑफिसर्स जाएंगे और पूरे के पूरे 12-15 एक ट्रेन बनाई है हेरिटेज कॉरिडोर, उसके दर्शन करेंगे। आइडिया इज हाउ टू प्रमोट टूरिज्म। टूरिज्म हम बोलते हैं, मगर कितने लोग जम्मू के मंदिरों में घूमते हैं, क्या व्यवस्था है, क्या उसको टूरिज्म प्रोडक्ट बनाने के लिए, सस्टेनेबल टूरिज्म के लिए क्या चाहिए। इन शब्दों के साथ मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूँ और आपको बोलता हूँ सोचो और सस्टेनेबल और कम्युनिटी इन्वॉल्वमेंट। कम्युनिटी के इन्वॉल्वमेंट के बिना कुछ नहीं होगा। धन्यवाद। जय थैंक यू। अमित जी थैंक यू। Anil ji, thank you, and your lecture was wonderful. I always appreciate that, and I think I have taken a lot of your time and think about your surrounding areas and the old Vaishno Devi route. I have already requested him, the Dean of Lovely University, Dean of Lovely University of Lovely City and Lovely Dean from I think Jammu, Himachal. So I have already requested him to help us for ethnic food. Similarly, I have already requested him because the route starts from where the IAM boundary ends, my boundary starts. So I have already requested him also, and I am requesting everyone here to rethink and start developing tourism as much as help you can do, whether on computer, whether on ground. So rethink that and involve community, do your level best, and all the best now.
Thank you, sir, for your golden words. Now, I would like to request our special guest, Dr. Baljeet Singh, Quality in Marketing from IIM Jammu, to come on a dais and enlighten us with his words of knowledge. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome sir.
Honorable dignitaries on the dais. Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So honorable dignitaries on the dais, Dr. Jayabasi and Dr. Amit, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to speak with the very bright students of Central University of Jammu. So I will not talk about theory, because if I start talking about theory, it will be a dishonor to Dr. Anil sir, because he has been on the epitome of success if we talk about theory. We have met for the very first time, but in the academic world, we know each other through papers and the research that we do. So what I will talk about only practice.
and we'll try to bring about some of the perspectives and some of the learnings which I acquired at during my work domain at Nestle India Limited and Hindustan Unilever Limited. And then at my research, 5 years, 6 years of research at Indian Institute of Management, Indore, and then 4 years of teaching at IIM Bodhgaya and IIM Jammu. So we try to connect the theme, rethink, and then the last word, growth. So all are guys with me. This is what I usually say in my class at IIM Jammu. Are all of you with me? Last row. Clear. So clearly, I'm going to talk about something which will be useful for you when you are going to join your organizations, your job. In marketing, teaching, we talk about 3 things. First one is concepts. Second one is frameworks, and the third one is strategy. Clear? So all the strategies, all the companies are built upon these 3 things: concepts, frameworks, and strategies. And when I start with concepts, so you might have heard about a concept called as marketing myopia. You might have heard about a concept called as meta market. You might have heard about various other concepts in marketing. So on the basis of these concepts, we usually formulate frameworks. So when it comes to frameworks, you might have studied about BCG metrics. You might have studied about ENSOF metrics or other various frameworks. And then on the basis of those frameworks, we frame strategies. So for example, you might have heard about blue ocean strategy or red ocean strategy or any GTM strategy for that matter, or any strategy which is related to your domain, that is hospital and healthcare management. So why these 3 words are important, and why the theme of this particular conference and the first word of that particular theme, that means rethinking. Because see guys, our concepts are evolving, our frameworks have to be evolved. For example, we never heard about a concept called as meta marketing, or we never heard about a concept called as meta, the word meta. Clear? And we never heard about a concept called as, earlier we never heard about a concept called as revenge tourism. So because अगर आपके concepts change हो रहे हैं, तो आपको frameworks change करने पड़ेंगे. So आप जब market में जाओगे, when you people will be joining your jobs, when you people will be joining your organizations, आप वही वाले frameworks के साथ successful नहीं हो पाओगे, boss. If I talk about top CEOs or top marketing managers in HUL, what do you do? Have you ever tried to analyze किसी भी अच्छी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का मार्केटिंग मैनेजर जो कि किसी भी आईएम से निकल के स्ट्रेट अवे ज्वाइन करता है 30 लाख 40 लाख के पैकेज पे, व्हाट डज ही डू एक्चुअली? बस करता क्या है वो, किस चीज का उसको कंपनी 30 लाख 40 लाख पैकेज पे कर रही है? रिसेंटली वी हैड पेटीएम एट आवर कैंपस 32 लाख, वी हैड माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एट आवर कैंपस 72 लाख. सो व्हाट आर दे डूइंग एक्चुअली? 72 लाख क्यों पे कर रहा हूं बॉस? बिकॉज़ दीस आर द पीपल who actually change these frameworks. These are the people, on the basis of those frameworks, they change those strategies. You might have heard about a concept called a brand called as Karma, which was not existing. Simple, आपको एक रेडियो बेच रहे हैं जिसमें आपको पुराने गाने सुना रहे हैं. Clear? So they are rethinking. They are rethinking that customers need something different. And the brand manager for that Karma is a guy from IIM Bangalore working at a package of 1.5 CR within a span of only 5 years. Now, what is the take for you? The take for you is, boss, apni books mein, during your MBA time or your this particular 2 years, you should be aware about some 50-60 concepts. At least I'm talking about. It's not only 50, there are so many. But at least when you land into the field, when you go into the organization, आपके पास 40-50 concepts होने चाहिए, 15 से 20 frameworks होने चाहिए, पूरा clarity idea होना चाहिए. For example, BCG metrics, where it is being used, ENSOF metrics, where it is being used, आपका SWOT analysis, where it is being used, आपका TOWS analysis, where it is being used. And then उन frameworks के basis पे कैसे strategies बनाई जाती हैं, you should be aware of. Because when you will be joining the organization, they might ask you, how will you enhance the sales of my company? So ENSOF metrics है boss, जो आपको sales enhance करने के लिए help करेगा. Clear? Now, because things are changing, हमारा रिवेंज टूरिज्म कभी नहीं था, अभी रिवेंज टूरिज्म आ रहा है. सो दैट मींस आपके फ्रेमवर्क में एक एलिमेंट ऐड हो गया है, या आपके फ्रेमवर्क में वन ऑफ द एलिमेंट हैज बीन एडेड एंड consequently you have to change the strategy. So there would be a sort of revenge tourism customer जो होएगा उसके लिए एक डिफरेंट स्ट्रैटेजी लगेगी. अगर आप पुरानी वाली स्ट्रैटेजी से इस पर्टिकुलर कस्टमर को वैल्यू प्रोवाइड करना चाहोगे, it will not work because he is always in state of revenge. and he's coming to you because he wants to get away with that COVID sort of fear. So we keep on talking about organizations like Castrol. So my request is, please go through these sorts of organization. What are their strategies? ये कैसे rethink करके अपनी strategies को change कर रहे हैं? For that matter, I would reflect you, and I will also share a list of some books which we prescribe at IIMs with Dr. Amit sir के साथ share करूँगा. They will be sharing it with you. Please develop a very good book culture. So this is one book called as The CEO Factory. Okay? The CEO Factory talks about a company called as Hindustan Unilever, HUL. I was a part of this organization when this particular book was being written, and it was being written by the one CEO of that company, so who was director for foods and detergents. So that guy, in that particular book, 250, 300, 400 रुपए की आपको book मिल जाएगी boss, because you people are very smart, तो कुछ pirated versions भी आपको मिल जाएंगे, although I should not project that. But my logic is, please read that book before you pass out from this particular place. ये book आपको बताएगी day one पे एक one guy when he enters into HUL, or for that matter any company like P&G, FMCG company. So HUL उस बंदे को क्या करवाती है? So 18 chapters में book divided है, and so it will help you to learn कि boss जब मैं organization में जाऊंगा मेरी company मेरे से क्या चाहती है, मेरा boss मेरे से क्या चाहता है, because उस book में सब लिखा हुआ है. So a guy enters into HUL on day one पे it happened with me also. बोल दिया गया था आपकी हमारे बोर्ड में चाहिए, and please feel the products. So when it says feel the product, please feel कीजिए rin कैसा होता है, feel कीजिए feel कैसा होता है, because ultimately how this product feels. So my request is, please go through these sorts of books, try to take those strategies into your mind, and अपने आप एक manager वाले role में equip कीजिए, and then think of कि मैं ये strategy इस company में कैसे लगा सकता हूँ. वो जो 70 लाख रुपए ले रहे हैं ना जो हमारे students जाते हैं, so they have all the ideas in their mind, and then they change उस framework को ना. अब framework की बात बताऊं तो framework कुछ नहीं होता है, बस आपका 2x matrix होता है. So how many of you are aware about the 2x2 matrix? जैसे BCG होएगा, Tow's analysis होएगा, बहुत सारे matrices हैं, आपकी books में पढ़े होंगे. So वो 2x2 matrix को company में जाके change करते हैं with respect to customers, with respect to clients, with respect to scenarios, and then they get new ideas. Karma कोई revolutionary product नहीं है boss. ये एक revolutionary idea है कि आपके पास वो पुराने गाने एक नए रेडियो के फॉर्म में लेके आ गए हैं. So if you talk about, this is an efficiency effectiveness matrix है जो Karma को एक बहुत अच्छा product बना के लेके आया. So please go through all those matrices, go through all those strategies. So I talked about a book called as CEO Factory. Then there is another book called as the 5 a.m. Club. There is also another book which talks about, so I will be giving the list to sir. My request is, please go through those books. Please try to use those strategies. आप जब पढ़ रहे हो 2 साल की जो प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हो उसमें वो चीजें आ जानी चाहिए. So by the time you end up going into market ना, आपके दिमाग में होना चाहिए 50 strategies. मुझे पता है इस कंपनी का बिजनेस नहीं चल रहा है, तो हो सकता है मैं किसी ये 4 या 5 strategies लगा के इस कंपनी की सेल्स बढ़ा पाऊंगा या इस कंपनी का मार्केटिंग अच्छा कर पाऊंगा. So this should be well enough engulfed in you, boss. Yeah, the last term, I talk about growth. So how do we grow? Let me talk about IIM Jammu. So we started 7 years before. IIM Jammu was the 20th IIM which was established by the government of India, and we were ranking on rank number 20. Today we are on the rank number 12. हमने 8, जिसमें से कुछ थर्ड जनरेशन IIMs भी हैं और कुछ fortunately second generation IIMs भी हैं, उनको भी पीछे छोड़ दिया हुआ. The reason is we have a very young team, and we are ready to work 24/7, boss. आप कभी, and it is my request. I had an interaction before I was coming for this particular conference. I had an interaction with my director, and he said, please ask the students to visit our campus. Please let them know about what is an IIM sort of culture, and please try to take that learnings in you. So I also never studied in an IIM. मेरा MBA IIM से नहीं हुआ था, but मेरा जो PhD वाला experience था, मैं वही आपसे share कर रहा हूँ बस. There is something to learn from some of the things, and we also are learning from. So, say for example, Central University, one of the growing universities, and we usually see these sorts of universities grow by leaps and bounds and giving a very good competition. So in IIM sort of culture, there is no night. Hamara companies come and recruit by 12 in the morning because they don't have time. And students also don't have time. So we have a company today, we have a company in the morning. Clear? So it's a 24/7 culture. So try to bring that 24/7 culture to your work doing, boss. A very young team can make you grow by months. And my request at any point of time, if you want to visit our campus, if you want to visit our students, so we are ready to help anyone doing with his PhD work, with his if he's in any sort of stage of his proposal work or anywhere. If you people are into internships, if you want to go in for internships, we'll also be helping you at any point of time. So this is my request and an honor and privilege for me to be amongst you, talk to you, and share my learnings. Thank you so much, and happy to have this with you. Thank you.
Valuable thoughts with us. Now, I would like to invite our keynote speaker, Professor Sandeep Walia, Deputy Dean, School of Hotel and Tourism Management, Lovely Professional University, Jalandhar, to share a few thoughts with us.
Thank you very much. I guess I am loud enough so that I can be heard on the last. Right. So very good afternoon to one and all present over here. May I have the slides, please? Is it working? Okay. Till the time it will work. Let me start to thank the organizing team of Central University of Jammu, Department of Travel and Tourism Management, for their kind invitation and to share my opinion on this very beautifully, I must say, articulated or curated theme of the international conference, that is rethinking tourism to strive for sustainable and community engagement. Perhaps I am the youngest speaker among all the big guns sitting here, or have left in absentia. I'm just trying to follow the footsteps of the academic, resourceful, our elders, and just trying to learn and cope that what tourism is actually, but how tourism academia should be promoted and how research can be promoted in their campus. To begin with, rethinking tourism to strive for sustainable and community-induced growth. So, what is the need to rethink? Why to rethink? Is this word, the tourism, so bad or so good that we need to brainstorm? Because this is not what we are saying in this part of the country, but the entire globe perhaps is talking about rethinking tourism. And that's why perhaps the United Nations World Tourism Organization has fixed that this year's World Tourism Day theme for rethinking tourism. So this is a global call. This is not restricted to Jammu, to J&K, to northern part of the country or to the entire nation, but across the globe. This has become a buzzword today, to rethink. And what the notion of rethink says, that it is a global commitment by the tourism community to grow better. Perhaps very rightly and beautifully said by Professor Manas, that if we can't leave this world in a better manner to the coming generations, we must ensure that we should leave this world on the present situation as it is. We are enjoying this. Right? Moving ahead, I just want to show some of the statistics which have been given by the Global Wealth Report 2022. Particularly talking about Asian tourism. My dear young friends, this Asian population is equivalent to 59.76% of the total world population. That means out of 203 odd countries, only the countries from Asia, we are more than half of the population of this world. So of course, our consumption patterns will be quite higher than the rest of the world, because we happens to be from the most populous part of the world. And Asia Pacific is the second most competitive region in terms of travel and tourism. This region boasts the best combination of natural and cultural resources, including the highest regional performance of the cultural resources and business travel sub-index. And Japan, thus leading by the examples, is leading the region in overall score, while Bangladesh has the greatest improvement in terms of Asian tourism. Just to have a glance on the travel and tourism competitiveness index, if we would like to talk in the domain of business environment, we will see that Hong Kong remains the top scorer, and most improved is the India. In terms of human resources and labor market, top scorer is Singapore, but most improved is Pakistan, our immediate neighbor. Price competitiveness, we have Brunei, Darussalam, and most improved is Australia. ICT readiness, technology integration, we talk about Hong Kong again is the top scorer, whereas most improved is Nepal. Prioritization of travel tourism, Singapore is leading, and improved is Mongolia. And cultural resources and business travel, China is top scoring, thus followed by India as most improvement. We are talking about tourism. Everybody knows that this is such a sector which used to fetch a lot of direct and indirect employment opportunities. I'm not going to quote the statistics because post COVID-19, the statistics, they are now not in that order. But still, every 9th person, directly or indirectly, is somehow related to this industry. Services sector. And my dear friends, the dark side of this industry is that today 1 billion people live in urban slums and 1.5 billion people live in countries affected by repeated cycles of violence. If I go by the World Bank report, which was published in 2022, it said that in the past decade, the number of people affected by natural disaster tripled to 2 billion. Low-income countries have affected only for 9% of the disaster event, but 48% fatalities were there. And this reminds me, somebody was talking about just after the first phase of COVID-19 cycle, because I am also a group of ITHC, and somebody was talking about to have a Himachal as a rejuvenation destination after post COVID-19. But how can a small state just was having 4 ventilators at that time, how can that be a rejuvenated destination for the people or for the peoples who would like to recovery? People misguided our chief minister because they just want to gain praise, but the actual reality was quite harsh. If one would have to be airlifted to Chandigarh PGI, it would have taken more than 3 hours, and just with 4 ventilators. And when I opposed this on ITHC group, I started getting calls from our learned and rich academicians. What are you talking about? Tourism can fetch benefits, economic benefits. I said these benefits will come into play when one would be able to survive. And the contamination of this disease is so disastrous that it is not going to affect the community, but obviously the entire state will suffer because of this. Then notion came of revenge tourism. I don't know why people always put tourism as suffix after everything. We are learned. Everybody talks about this tourism, this tourism, this tourism. Is that really happens or exists? I must salute the enthusiasm of Sali Saab that he is volunteering and promoting tourism. And while I was preparing myself to come here, I also went to the popular circuits, the old Vaishno Devi route, the Silk route, which was still not that much at priority by the government of India. I was in a conference in Uzbekistan in 2020, pre-COVID. Silk route was never, it is a great cultural heritage route which can be promoted, can be showcased as a tourism product, but our government never paid attention towards that. I don't know why. Right? This shock was not the new shock for our industry. Everybody was talking about COVID. Across the globe, we were talking about COVID. Was it the first shock which we witnessed or our industry witnessed? I would like to remind you people that it was 1980s oil crisis. We bounced back. It was SARS, Ebola. We bounced back. It was global recession. We bounced back with a double pace. Perhaps the truth of the fact is that tourism is the most resilient sector. We bounce back with double the pace. And very soon we will be having the statistics for 2022 and 23. You will come to know that which industry has bounced back, is resilient to the effects. Not the agriculture, not the commerce, but it was tourism. And I must quote the statistics. It was the small island developing states like Maldives. They have opened their door post COVID-19. We were still hesitant to open our borders. Government restrictions added fuel to the situation, to the fire. So we are the part of the resilient sector. We should not be afraid. And it's not the shocks, it's not the terrorism which is refraining tourism. It's the tourism which is refraining community to be a part of tourism. We talk many a times. I have done my PhD in community-based tourism. Many a times people said that it was the government policies, it was the recuperations, it was the shocks which refrain community to be a part of the tourism. No. The ideal situation is that tourism itself is refraining community to be a part of tourism. You take any case, Cambodia, Mongolia, where the community induced tourism in the practice, Austria, France, because the attitude of local community has found to be weakened, especially with the time or issues which arises. Maybe the unpleasant behavior of the tourist, maybe the congestion. If I talk about Shimla, it was meant, Britishers when discovered Shimla, meant for 25,000 people, more than 4.5 lakh people residing permanently in the Shimla. If we see the influx of tourists on the weekends from Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Rajasthan and Haryana, there's no parking. There's an embarrassment on the on the eve of Christmas or the New Year's. Tourists have to sleep in their cars because we were failed to develop an alternative destination. So, how community-based tourism is different from community-induced tourism? And perhaps these two words, community-based tourism and community-induced tourism, these words didn't allow me to sleep for at least 2 nights. That how community-induced tourism is different from community-based tourism. I started researching in 2012 when I was a student of PhD, community-based tourism. So, community-based tourism emerged from a community development strategy using tourism as a tool to strengthen their ability that manage tourism resources with participation of local people. Whereas in induced tourism, as the name itself suggests, emerges from the action of the inducing, instigating, and those under the influence of information. I went through the research articles which were published by the scholars of Dr. Bharti Gupta, film-induced tourism. Because first when I went to Google Scholar or to the Research Rabbit or to the Insightful, I searched for community-induced tourism. Irony of the situation was I was not able to search it out. I got film-induced tourism. Why is the need to rethink? We are talking about rethinking, but why is there a need of rethinking? Because of the growing unsustainable consumption pattern of the tourists or even the community also. I'm sure that we are going to leave this world, this beautiful world, where we are for the once in this beautiful life as a garbage. My dear friends, tourism success should not be measured with tourist visitation. Hosts are equally important. Whether the host want tourists to be part or tourists to enter to their places, we have never thought of that. Nobody asked from them. We talked about community-based tourism, sir, when I did my PhD Paragpur. But that was a forced initiative of government of Himachal Pradesh. Ananda in the Himalayas. Ananda temple in the Kullu Manali. But I found one significant place where community was enthusiastic for the community-based tourism. Sangla Valley Tourism Development Society, founded in 2002. And they behaves and works actually as we discussed in the community-induced tourism. So they came out with the conclusion that whatever going to happen in the Sangla Valley, whatever initiative about the tourism or a fair, tradition, exhibition, whatever it is, community's permission needs to be sought first. Community will embark the place, charge for that. So why community-induced tourism? As policymakers, maybe the bureaucrats or we academicians are quite far from the reality. Community is more knowledgeable than us. They know their place better. They know their patrons better. They understand their needs. You know, there are I found quite influencing slogans. Har gaon ki kahani, mera gaon, meri juwani, mera gaon, meri dharohar, mera gaon, mera gaurav, mera gaon, meri sadak. पता नहीं क्या क्या भारत सरकार ने शुरू कर दिया. But when you will go actually to that place, you will find nothing. A very beautiful example of Great Himalayan National Park recently being inducted into the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Very near to my, or I must say very near to Dr. Rahul's place. Maybe 12 kilometers. The native population is aware about their resources. And even there is a concept of GOPT. And the native people, they were against the UN, this World Heritage Site tag, because we do have some rituals to perform. We worship our water, we worship our trees, and we have a lot of gods and goddesses in the world, UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So this GOPT is very new word nowadays, but people have started researching this towards the sustainable tourism. Because this was in our bloods. If we go to the Himalayas, we belong to the foothills of Himalayas. This GOPT as a sustainable aspect, we were always there. We used to have our shoes outside our house. We used to worship our trees, water, right? Moving ahead, let the community induce the tourism. Let them be the decision makers. So many research articles, more than 32,000 you will find on the Google Scholars or Scopus database, which talks about community directly or indirectly, which are published on the community-based tourism across the globe. This reminds me of a beautiful ad which was developed by JK Tourism Board in 2017, where they just want to fetch tourists and want to make them understand that community still wants tourism. They are not hesitant to receive tourists to Jammu and Kashmir. So this ad was there, and this ad had more than 5 million views. Moving ahead, that we need to make community a central part of the tourism. Just to quote an example, I love Jaisalmer, a spearhead non-profit organization, and they have just signed an MOU with the SpiceJet to ensure uninterrupted flight to the Jaisalmer. And what they are actually doing, they are building hope among the communities. They are like what we are doing. Professor Sani said that they are doing for Jammu and Kashmir. Same the people are doing for the Jaisalmer. They wanted tourists 24/7 or round the year to the Jaisalmer. They are building hope. They are making resilient communities. So what they actually do, they educate, they instill love and belongingness, they project heritage and culture. Then towards sustainable, profitable and inclusive tourism, everybody talks about that. But the realization of the fact is that community is the backbone. Without community, we will not be able to promote either community-based tourism or community-induced tourism. These will be vague philosophical aspects just restricted to the literature. Way out, we have to deal with them, we have to make them. Yes, I'm just about to conclude. These are some of the beautiful examples: Corsica in France, Kyoto, Japan, and one from Australia. Just to emphasize a bit on Jammu and Kashmir, we need to have a thought. As Anil sir said that government wanted to induct 75 villages as the tourism villages. I also went to the literature, and the first was the Jobu Kenya. But we need to explore the unexplored, which says Mughal Road, Silk Road, Old Vaishno Devi Trail, which Sani Sir was talking about, and I generously said that whatever you do, we'll support you. Tribal tourism, community-based tourism is the key. Let the folk speaks for the destination. the Kashmiri love saga, Haba Khatun and Sultan Yusuf Sachak. You know, we were not able to tell that Soni Mahiwal, they belong to the Riyasi, the village called, what I mean to say that, Baradari. Still, you go to, anybody you can sit here, you can Google. Google will say that they belongs to Punjab. But the matter of the fact that at that time when they were here, Jammu and Kashmir was also a part of the country. But who's going to take initiative to rectify these facts on the social media? We need to promote local artists. You know, we have Kashmiri poetry can be promoted as a tourism product. I was very much fascinated when I was a student. I used to have that Gar Zameen, wo kya bolte hai, hum hi hasto, hum hi hasto. We need to promote that. Sufi tourism circuit is there. I have used a pic which was, sorry sir, I took your picture. This was Sani sir's picture. I found on the Google and I have given you a reference as well for that. You know, Laleshwari, more famous known as Lal Ded, female revolutionary Hindu saint born in the ancient city of this Pampur nowadays. This circuit still look for the sites. Although most of the initiatives, they are even about to conclude or in the process, but needs to speed up. But one more thing is that, are we developing those by forcing the carrying capacity? These circuits needs to be. This Mughal road has opened up, but district like Rajouri, Poonch, they are not still in that circuit, sir. Then suggestions. We do have advantages. You know, transferring decision-making community level, provide employment, blah, blah, blah. But disadvantages are on the right side are always there. That cultural destruction will be there. Environmental destruction will be there. Marginal employment, heavy investment, and low direct profits. Unrealistic expectations. We used to quote and we used to jumble the numbers by enthusiasm. So there is an opportunity to rethink now. And we need to promote this right, which means responsible, inclusive, green and hospitable tourism for ensuring better accountability of all stakeholders which are involved in tourism management or are a part of tourism, so that they need to be governed under a common umbrella of the regulations. And these are the sustainable community which is the need of the hour. That means leadership, civic engagement and responsibility. We need to fix that. Economic security should be there. Ecological integrity should be there. You know, social well-being should be there. Because there are time constraints, so I would like to stop here. And I once again would like to congratulate the Department of Tourism and Travel Management, Central State of Jammu, and Professor Jaya Basin ma'am, Amit ji, Bharti ma'am, my dear friends, Anil sir always there, my 11 PM friend, most of the times when I used to call, भाई जी ये मैं सोच रहा था इस पे पेपर करना है, हाँ तो कर लेंगे, मैं क्या प्रॉब्लम है इसमें. So I have that liberty. I worked with Ranjit in 2011. We both were teaching in Punjab at Punjab University, Chandigarh. So I worked with everybody. Ranjit is my scholar, right? So we should, as tourism, stakeholders, we are the main stakeholders. We should brainstorm, and we should, just rightly said by Sahani sir, we should be more lenient towards community. We should think that if this is going to happen, this can be benefit, this can be the demerit for that. After that, we have to jump to conclusion. And with these words, thank you very much for inviting me. It was my proud privilege to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for motivating our students. It's such an honor to hear from you. Now, I would like to mention that हमारे जो chief guest हैं, she is in the meeting, so अभी वो आ नहीं पाएंगे. So हम heartfully congratulate करते हैं मैम को for the success of the event. And now I would like to invite our head of the department, Dr. Amit Gangotia, for the final word of thanks. Please.
All right, so on the very outset of this particular international conference, I'd like to first of all thank all the students. Generally, that doesn't happen, but first of all, I'd like to take a privilege in thanking our students, research scholars, and all the office staff who have worked so very hard in making this event a great success. On this particular occasion, I like to, I'm very happy that the galaxy of stalwarts, I should say, the academia, and the likings of Professor Parikshit sir and Anil sir and no Sahani sir, Sandeep, Professor Sandeep, that we are able to create that buzz in tourism academia with this particular theme, isn't it? I think all of you will agree with me. So I think that is the mandate of any conference when we actually organize any of the events, because that's very very important, because we have to brainstorm, we have to actually वो एक मंथन बहुत जरूरी है जब भी हम किसी कॉन्फ्रेंस में आते हैं. It's not just meet and greet thing, so it is much more than that. So on the very outset, I like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, patron and chair for this international conference on rethinking tourism to strive for sustainable and tourism community-induced growth. The whole idea, sir was just sharing with me, and he's the person who always motivate and actually push us to that particular corner and make us work over there. We are just done with our Travelism 2022 in September, and we have come up with another event. So that is just done with the patronage and the guidance of Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, Professor Sanjeev Jain, who is such a visionary and no dynamic, charismatic leader that every university is working 24/7 now. I like to thank, in absentia, I like to thank our chief guest for the day. Because of unavoidable situation, she is not able to join us, but she has congratulated us for the success. She has watched our event through this Facebook Live also. Mrs. Anuradha Gupta ji, Deputy Commissioner Sambha. She has promised to come on some other occasion and be here with us, and she has a lot of things to share with us. So in absentia, I'd like to thank our chairperson for the day. I'd like to thank our guest of honor for the day, Professor Parikshit Singh Manhas, who is one of, I should say, the internationally acclaimed professors in tourism academia, and for his benign presence over here. I'd like to thank our keynote speakers. First, I'd like to start with the offline keynote speakers. Whenever we talk about conferences, so it's about the profoundness of the speakers which matters. And Anil sir, with your presence, I am very sure that this conference has gone. No, the notch of this particular conference has gone very very up. So thank you for being there, sir, and we always look forward for your guidance in terms of academia, in terms of research, and we like to have your patronage for that particular thing. Secondly, I'd like to thank my younger brother, Professor Sandeep Walia. Both of them are very, very busy man. Either I talk about Anil sir, I talk about Sandeep Walia ji. As you all understand, working in a private organization is a little harder, and you have to press with time. So I requested Professor Sandeep Walia to be here with our conference, and for the obvious reasons, with his profoundness and with his enthusiasm, with his delivery of the speech, we can make out that why I have kept his keynote address in the last, because जो crescendo होता है, no acme और जो होता है वो last में ही पहुंचता है. So thank you, Professor Sandeep, for wonderfully researched and wonderfully articulated presentation and giving us food for thought with this particular conference. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank our international speakers who are very, very profound researchers and very, very well-known these academicians in the field of tourism academia. Starting with Professor Claudia Sebra ma'am from University of Portugal. She's one of the leading academicians in tourism academia. She's on the board of, I missed out a small little thing. These gentlemen sitting over here on the dais, including Professor Anil Gupta ji and Professor Sandeep Walia ji, they are on the boards of many ABDC ranked journals. They are on the editorial board. They have a lot of publication, right from A-star publication to all the star publications. So we are having such galaxy of speakers from international academia and from national arena also. So Professor Claudia Sebra ma'am, I'd like to thank you. She will be joining us for the technical session as a chair. I'd like to thank Dr. Jitesh Kumar from Taylor University, Malaysia, a very good friend and a very profound speaker and a very good researcher. So Dr. Jitesh, I'd like to thank you and put on record that your presentation was a food for thought for all of us. Thank you very much for coming up over here and sharing your valuable time. I'd like to thank our speaker, Dr. Amitabh Mishra ji. He's a very good friend and he has come from joined us online and shared his food for thought from a different part of the world. From Oman, he spoke to us and he has delivered a wonderful speech. Thank you, Dr. Amitabh Mishra ji, for coming up over here. I'd like to mention here, I'd like to put on record special thank to our special guests for the day. Starting with Sani sir. Sani sir, he's like an in-house professor for all of us. And today we have become officially member of Intact. So thank you so very much, sir. He's very kind enough whenever we are in a fix. So he's the man who always help us out. When I was looking for a resource person or any of the things, so he's just a call away and he always give us that piece of advice and suggestion whenever required. So thank you, sir, for your benign presence over here. Thank you very much, Sani sir. I'd like to thank Dr. Baljit ji. I really love your presentation and we have taken all the offerings what you have given to us, visiting your campus, helping us and research. So, sir, we actually, go by your word. So definitely we'll be reaching IIM very shortly and we'll be seeking your help. And from marketing perspective, you have given a new vertical for this particular conference when we talk about say community-induced tourism. So you have wonderfully articulated that how marketing, no, and Anil sir has also mentioned about monetizing certain things. Like Sahani sir has pointed out about this thing. Now, this is a very small thing. This can be a very, very small thing. We are having a grassroots, innovator sitting over here. No, we are having this Shilpkari Bazaar. We are having, Meenakshi ji. Who are the people behind who are actually creating a lot of self-help groups also, and they are actually working day in and day out to make a difference in society and creating that niche. So we can see that what Anil sir has pointed out, Sani sir has pointed out, Baljiji has pointed out, and of course Professor Walia has also pointed out that how monetization, when we talk about say integrated marketing, so that is very, very important over here. So thank you, Baljit sir, for coming up over here, and we'd like to have you on board for some other occasions also. Thank you so very much. I'd like to thank our resource person, Mr. Sunilji, who has come out all the way from Uttarakhand. Thank you so very much. So they will be joining us for technical session. Being academics for IHMS, Kodwar. Thank you, Sunilji. His training was a little delayed, but he is able to manage to come over here. I'd like to thank my dear friend, Mr. Indo Puniji. Thank you very much, Indo Puniji, that you have joined us from direct from Leh. So, I'm very thankful to you that you have come on such a short notice to us. Thank you so very much. I'd like to thank all the, if I missed out any of the names on people who on the dice, so my apologies. I'd like to extend my thank to our co-patron of this particular conference, our Dean, School of Business Studies, Professor Jia Basin ma'am. She's always up and doing, she's always a helping hand and source of motivation for all of us. Thank you very much, ma'am, for sitting over here and guiding us and for making this event a great success. Thank you so very much, ma'am. Thank you. I'd like to thank Dr. Shahid. I'd like to thank Dr. Asif sitting over here from Department of HR and OB. Now it's Management Department. So for coming up over here and sparing your time. I'd like to put on record my sincere thanks to Professor Bahu sir, Dean Research, Central University of Jammu, Professor Rasal sir, Professor Pathania sir, Dr. Anju ma'am, Dr. Naresh sir, and many more, Dr. Asit Mantri, who have spared their time for coming up over here for this particular international conference. I'd like to mention a special mention to my colleagues. So I'd like to request my colleagues to please get up and audience will give a big round of applause. I'd like to start with Dr. Bharti Gupta. Dr. Bharti Gupta, please get up and big round of applause. Dr. Ranjit Kumar Raman sir, my friend Dr. Rahul Thakur ji, Dr. Ravinder Singh, Dr. Manjeet Singh, and because this is the team, इन्हीं लोगों की वजह से मैं सिर्फ फेस हूँ डिपार्टमेंट का, बट द एक्चुअल सोर्स ऑफ मोटिवेशन यही लोग हैं जो काम कर रहे हैं और इन्होंने इस इवेंट को सक्सेसफुल बनाया है. बिकॉज देयर टीम, I cannot miss out the name of my dear friend, I should say dear friend, my scholar, what should I say, Mr. Ketan Bhatt. A special mention to Dr. Ketan Bhatt, Mr. Ketan Bhatt right now. He joined me as a research associate, but now he's growing up with leap and bound. I'd like to mention over here that the theme which has been praised again and again. So probably here's a contribution to actually conceptualizing. We were all sitting, but finally we have conceptualized this theme, and Ketan has a special contribution to it. Thank you, Ketan. I like to thank my research scholars. Please, I like to name, and please you get up, all of you. First of all, Miss Prachi. Prachi, big round of applause for Miss Prachi. Mr. Ayush, Mr. Sarath, likely to be doctors very shortly. Mr. Sachivji, Mr. Rohit, Miss Karishma, Miss Sumiran, I don't know where they are. Mr. Ankit, I think they are some busy in some, okay. Mr. Viswa, wonderful. They all are working behind the curtain. See, this is the force who are working behind the curtain. When we are sitting here, they are preparing for everything, in the backdrop. So thank you very much. I like to mention all those people. I like to have a special mention of this Shilpkari Bazaar, Arnav ji and Mrs. Arnav ji, who have actually come over here and if you can call them also. So Shilpkari Bazaar team, we can applaud for them at least. Miss Meenakshi ji, who is spearheading this self-help group. Vaishnavi, so here we are having Mr. Arnav ji and his wife. So thank you so much, sir, coming up over here. I like to thank all the people who have actually contributed directly, indirectly for this particular conference and making this conference a grand success. We received overwhelming response for these technical sessions. We received a lot of abstract, but as it was mentioned in inaugural session, that we have shortlisted 40 abstract for the presentation. So that will be announced by Ms. Karishma. With these words, I thank you very much, and I like to end up with a quote. घर देखनी है मेरी उड़ान तो और ऊंचा करो आसमान. So as this was mentioned by a lot of eminent schools, and it gives me immense satisfaction when people from IM they are actually talking about our brand as a Department of Tourism and Travel Management, and likings of Parikshit sir, likings of Anil sir, likings of Professor Sandeep Walia. So that speaks that we are in the right direction. So thank you very much, all my colleagues, my friends, my students, for making this a grand success. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So before we actually leave, there is an important information for all of you that we are going to have our lunch in the basement, and we are also going to have our technical session from 3 to 4 p.m. So please be back. And for the online technical session, the chair is Professor Jaya Basin ma'am, Dean School of Business Study, and co-chair by Dr. Ritu Bakshi ma'am. And we will be assembled in the auditorium, and the session will be chaired by Professor Mr. Sunil, and we having Dr. Puneet and Rapporteur Dr. Inder Puneet. So please be there, and as of now, you can enjoy your lunch. Thank you. So I would like to request everyone, please stand for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
भारत माता की जय भारत माता की जय भारत माता की जय थैंक यू everyone. भाई इसका वो दे दे शरद शरद आई
Hello, sir.